Probably won't watch this. Probably watch these. Hold on. Soy Pill just showing off his ripped body. Okay. Okay, let's do it.
People are entitled to their opinion. Remember one
Any
thing.
opinion?
Okay. Destiny debates George Santos. Let's have some fun.
George and Destiny, thank you guys for being here today. I'm excited. So we have kind of two prompts. It's a long, loaded debate. So each of you could basically have two affirmative statements to talk about today. So on Destiny's side, you approved of the statement, the modern Republican Party has abandoned the rule of law in exchange for loyalty to Donald Trump. That is the position that you will be defending, Destiny. George, you submitted that the Democratic Party is ignoring election results and opt for coronations instead. That is the position you will also be defending. So what we'll do is opening statements. We'll open with you. I would like you to address both points, ideally. And then we'll go to you, open with both points. And then it's going to be a free-for-all. The moderation is going to be the same as we've done all night. So by and large, I'm going to try to be as neutral as possible. Stay just in between you two. Please, no slurs. We're on YouTube, so be TOS friendly. Don't go crazy, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to slap the mic out of your hand. Other things to be aware of, if you interrupt to a point where I can't even hear who's saying what, I'm going to pause you guys. But you can be spicy, okay? Go ahead, have fun. Interruptions make debates and conversations, I think, flow better, if I'm being honest.
Ready to go?
Woo,
Yeah,
all right,
let's go.
Take it away.
I think that the current administration...
Hi, Destiny.
Hello, George. How's it
Okay,
going?
now we can start.
Now we can start.
Jesus, rude.
That last debate was a warm-up for what's going to happen here, okay? So, no, I'm just kidding. I think the current administration has a novel interpretation of how the U.S. government works. And by U.S. government, I mean exclusively the White House. Whether you're talking foreign affairs and you're talking murdering Venezuelans that are off the coast of South America and having absolutely no regard for international law or norms, whether you're talking about continuing on in this Iran war, which is now an illegal war, which Congress and the Republicans have completely abdicated their duty on restraining the president on, whether we're talking about the slew of hilariously vapid and stupid indictments that are coming out from the White House that are trying to make it so apparently every right-wing movement that wasn't real in the United States actually was really real, but they were only really real because the SPLC was secretly funding all of them. There's just absolutely no honest engagement with the structure of the government, with how it's supposed to work in any part of this administration in a way that is so far and away from anything we've ever seen in this country before, except for maybe in Trump 1, where he was still restrained by people that knew how government functioned. I honestly have no idea what a defensive rule of law is going to look like. I anticipate bringing up something like Obama weaponizing the IRS, which never happened, which is why there were no criminal charges for it, and why there was no serious investigation that said as much. We could try to bring up Obama assassinating a U.S. citizen, an opinion that he went to his Office of Legal Counsel for. They said it was probably okay. This guy was a terrorist overseas. Nobody sought to hold Obama accountable for this. We try to make some comparisons, but nothing reaches the level of just blatant disregard for structure of government as what we have right now with the Trump administration. I don't think I've ever seen federal authorities murder U.S. citizens and then be whisked away to freedom by the same federal government that says that they're doing it for our own good to enforce immigration law. As for the second prompt,
oh, I didn't even enter the video. I just started. Hey, so Destiny versus George Santos debate reaction. I'm also live, so if you guys want to catch my lives, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Let's go.
What was his? He's defending what?
Oh my, he got me. Democratic Party is ignoring election results and opt for coronations instead.
I mean, this is the same party where I don't know if this is like mass programming that they do behind the scenes, where they all have to get the Joe Biden was certified the winner of the 2020 presidential election, and they can't even answer honestly for who won that election. I can't think of anything more to do with coronations than the Republican Party when it comes to Donald Trump. I feel like these people think that Trump has won the past 4 elections and think that he's going to win the next one even if he doesn't run. So I don't know. I mean, we can talk about the Kamala Biden thing. That was far from a coronation.
What about Plattner?
What about Plattner? He's gone, isn't he?
Who's replacing him?
Well, we don't know yet, but it's a pretty awkward position. But those are my openers. We can go back further. You can give your openers. Go for it.
You know what? Thank you. Sorry
You're
for
welcome.
interjecting
Go
there.
ahead.
It was very.
If you guys didn't know, the U.S. Maine race is going to have a process. They have a couple of individuals that will have to qualify to be an official nominee for the U.S. Senate race for Maine. And then they're going to have the delegates pick. I'm going to react to that debate a little bit later.
Hard to say shut, but from the rule of law and
Hello, Alexander.
Justice, I'm going to start there, obviously, because I have a.
Wait, is that a Subaru? Is this name? Is it Subaru ReZero profile picture? I need to watch ReZero.
One or two to pick of how I feel on that, but as far as rule of law, the way that you characterize it, it's overly broad. The way that Destiny put it forward, I think it's a little bit more specific, and there's a lot more nuance in the sense of the SPLC was in fact funding radical organizations. It's delineated in the indictment because last I checked, Democrats love looking at indictments when it's somebody like me being indicted. And a lot of people probably in this room went line by line.
You're a criminal, George Santos. You literally were frauding elections and frauding voters, and you got pardoned because you sucked off Donald Trump like a little piggy. You should shut the fuck up. Oh, that felt good.
Memes. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It just made my cameos more expensive.
Wait, just to check the audio, did you say indicted or convicted?
Well, I'm talking about indictments right now.
Okay.
Right? Well, convictions, that comes later, right? So when it comes to people like me and you look through an indictment, you guys go line by line. And as I said, thank you for that. My cameos were amazing. But in all seriousness, when you start looking at it for what it is, you guys will not have a single opposition.
I can't let him go. Actually, let me blank.
To anything that's in an indictment against somebody like a George Santos or a Donald Trump. But the moment you put the shoe on the other hand, oh, this is all fake. On the other foot, whatever. Like I can sit here and do it all backwards. Like I famously said, I can chew and walk gum. I don't give a fuck. Oh, sorry. I can? Oh,
Yeah,
I
just
can
don't
swear?
drop
Oh, okay.
slurs.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, just
sorry. All right. So the point that I'm trying to make is, yes, it is bad what the SPLCs did. Is it hard for you to admit that funding the KKK is bad, Destiny?
Are you done with your openers?
No, I'm not done. That was a question in the middle of my opener.
All right, let's look into it. Did the Southern Poverty Law Center fund KKK? We unpack the allegations. Let's do it. The claim that the SPLC funded the coup, is this just is this summary? Yeah, this is summary. Or should we just read this one? Funded the KKK and other extremists stem from federal charges filed in April 2026. Remember that the federal government has charged a lot of people and have failed in so many different charges, such as Letitia Cook, like Comey, and just all of it just completely fails. So just because they charge people doesn't mean jack shit. They lie all the time, just like how they lied about the election being stolen. That accused the civil rights organization of improperly funneling donor money to such groups in a covert informant operation that lasted nearly a decade. It's true that SPLC once had an informant program in which it paid a network of informants to gather intelligence on extremist hate groups. The U.S. government's allegations of wire fraud, lying to banks, and conspiracy to commit money laundering remain unproven as of this writing. The claim that the Justice Department FBI revealed the SPLC funded the KKK and other groups were not supported by the available evidence, nor was the assumption reflected in the federal charges. It's possible that individual informants may have funneled funds they received from SPLC into the KKK or other hate groups. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who's a bitch, said during an appearance on Fox News that there was no evidence the group turned around and shared what they learned from the law enforcement and denied all wrongdoing, saying the government was blatantly mischaracterizing its efforts. The organization claimed it had proven information and paid informants gathered to law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, thereby helping to prevent violence and stop criminal activity. So ultimately, it seems like what has actually happened from this quick summary, because I want to be very quick with it, they gave money to informants, and maybe the informants gave it to the groups, but there's no evidence of any of that. Surprise, surprise. Charges means guilt. Unless you're actually guilty, like George Santos's bitch ass.
I think that having people that serve as informants, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
You think that's the limitation of what the funds were for?
That's my understanding. It's to gather
all right,
information. Yeah,
that's fair. That's a fair.
well, that's what's in the indictment, right?
That's a fair answer.
That's what's in the
I
indictment.
agree. But funding anything like the KKK, I don't care if it's an informant. I don't think we need to fund.
Oh, really? So any dollar that.
So you shouldn't fund the informant that's giving you information about the hate group, so you understand and know what they're doing, so you can help prevent them doing bad shit. Such a stupid fucking thing. But hey, man, you taking money from voters and getting money from foreign organizations, that's okay though. Based
For any intelligence, for any military, anything that serves as an operative or
what
an
I'm saying
informant.
is we don't need an informant to know that the KKK is bad at this point. It's 2026.
Well, it's not
that's
the
the
KKK is bad. It's
position.
Yo, George Santos is actually fucking. I'm trying not to use slurs. I'm really trying. I'm trying not to use slurs, but he's. Oh my god.
Informed on like things that might do
I
in the future, right?
understand. I understand
Also, it's
where
the
you're
SPLC, which is not. It's not the government. So you know.
I understand. All right. So
Okay.
and then on my position, and I'm just gonna go with this, and then we'll just get into it because I don't want to be too long-winded. Democrats ignore primary voters, and I'm not saying this to be cute. Joe Biden was nominated to be president, even though the people had issues with him and knew that his performance wasn't going to be the same. I'm not going to sit here and make attacks at the former president. Okay, it's just not my MO. You know that because we've interacted
That's what
before.
you're doing right now.
Attacking is not my thing. I'd rather make fun of it, but not attack it.
I hate him so
cool.
much. Oh my
So
god, let me relax.
there were obvious problems with Joe Biden and the capacity for him to perform, especially running circles around somebody like Donald Trump, who's going to literally make a meme out of the entire race. And we knew that was going to happen, right? So then they go and do the whole switcheroo with Kamala, completely ignore the Democrat base. And now they're doing the same thing in Maine. Remember that Graham Plattner had a lot of these allegations already out there, and still 145,000 Mainers went out there and said, we don't care. We want him as our candidate. And then all of a sudden, the DC establishment is like, no, we can't afford this. It's going to look bad because all of a sudden, polling in the general started to look bad. And once again, the Democrats are ignoring
the polling actually didn't look bad. It's the fact that he have allegations of raping someone. They just didn't want to support a guy like that because the allegations became too much. It wasn't the polling. I hate this guy so much.
Democratic process that took place, and they're going to find somebody to put a crown on their head and say, this is our candidate. That's wrong. I think we're all better than that, and I think we should do better. And Democrats want to criticize
You're
us,
not better than
but
that.
this is the way that they're behaving with their elections, and I think it's reprehensible. And I'll leave it at that.
Go ahead. It's open.
It is. Can we agree that every single person right now, every judge, anybody that made it to any position of the government that couldn't honestly answer who won the 2020 election should be removed when the next president comes into play?
No, I disagree. People are entitled to their opinion. Remember one
Any
thing.
opinion?
Stupid opinions are something that people are entitled to have.
Okay,
I don't
just
care.
curious. Is your doctor entitled to believe in the four humors?
Okay. Let me.
Is your auto mechanic
hold on,
entitled to believe? Like, I'm just curious. Because the only reason I'm asking this,
Look, it doesn't matter to
that
me
was
if it's
obviously
stupid.
a stupid statement.
Of course.
Wait. You obviously just said something very stupid, right?
That
That anyone is entitled to their opinion. We're not talking about who we're sitting next to at bingo, right? Where these are people that are holding official. I don't want anybody to have a random opinion if they're nominated to be a federal judge. I want to feel like they know and understand the law and can answer basic questions sometimes of law and fact. And if they don't even know who won the 2020 election, why would I trust them to adjudicate any other case?
Justice Jackson couldn't define what a woman was.
Is that a question before the court right now? What do you mean?
No, it's not. But you're saying about stupid questions. When you're being nominated to be the Supreme Court Justice of the United States and you're asked, what's a woman? I'm not a biologist. I can't define that. You see what I'm saying?
It's so easy to say these things. Do you think that it's easier to give a concrete, simple definition of what is a woman versus who won the 2020 election?
Yes.
Really?
It's as simple as
the 2020 election that difficult, or?
No, I think it's simple. It's simple to answer who won the 2020 election. I think it's.
I do that in one word. How many words does it take for you to define a woman? Look, who won 2020 election? Biden. So easy that was? It was one word, single word, super easy.
Biden won the 2020 election. I think you got the wrong guy up here.
No, I'm not asking about
but
you.
I did say Joe Biden won the election.
You're not a federal judge and you're not in cabinet positions where these things are coming up. I'm saying that all of the people appointed who can't honestly answer who won the 2020 election, they're doing it because they're afraid of what?
That's not true. Look, that's my opinion. Now, if you want me to go observe and see what other people are saying, I'll give an example. I was on the ballot in 2020, by the way, in New York for Congress. It was my first run. 2 days after the election, I was up by something, I don't know, I think it was like 4,000 votes, 4,500 votes, something like that. It was enough ahead that I got invited to go down to orientation in DC, right? So I'm there, whatever, doing my thing. And then absentee ballots come in. It was 17,000 absentee ballots. Majority of them were military. Military ballots were breaking, I think it was like 60-40 for Republicans. Everybody's like, oh my God, you might have just pulled off the biggest upset in the country right now. I'm like, not going to celebrate before every single miserable ballot is counted. 7 days after the election passes, that's the cutoff for absentee ballots to come in. Andrew Cuomo goes on TV and says, it has been brought to my attention that there's a lot of ballots in the USPS, wherever, I don't know where, and I am going to now extend for 3 more days for ballots to be delivered. Now, first of all, that's changing election law after Election Day. You should have prepared for this before Election Day. I think that's a fair thing to say. He changed election law after Election Day. right? And allowed for ballots to come in a little longer. Post-dated by election day. I'm not saying that the post date was different, but afterwards. That's kind of fishy. And then all of a sudden, 70,000 ballots came in my race. I lost the race, whatever. I conceded. I didn't agree with the way that it took place, but that's why people have questions, dude. That's really the...
Bro, people don't have questions regarding the 2020 election. They think it was stolen. And they've been enacting policies and changes to try to figure out a way to make or create. They are creating evidence to prove it was stolen. Stop with these fucking tactics. It's like they're just asking questions. They're just pondering on what took place. Isn't it reasonable to be a little skeptical? It's been 6 years and they're still trying to find evidence. That fat orange piece of shit just went on stage and made another claim about it being stolen from China. We're not at asking questions. We're not creating lies to enforce power and manipulate your base. Santos, bot, come on.
Things like that did happen. I didn't mount some legal insane crusade and go out there and go crazy, but that did happen. And that's a localized issue.
Did somebody sue him over this?
I did it. I was the only one entitled to sue, and I chose
sue
not
him
to.
over this?
No, I chose not to.
So if it was such
such
a flagrant abuse of the law, why did nobody sue him over it?
The reason I chose not to sue, it would take countless dollars to go and do it.
Yes, you care about
we all know Republicans don't like to waste money on lawsuits. And not even just you personally, but nobody else in the Republican establishment.
It was my decision to make, and my decision was no.
Why not? You don't think you could have asked any other Republican? You don't think they would have cared? No Koch brothers, no Trump funding, no fundraising, nobody else?
It wasn't about fundraising because we did have
okay, so I understand what you're saying. So you've given me your personal opinion that you felt like Cuomo shouldn't have done what he felt was in his job as a governor to make sure all the ballots were counted. I understand Republicans don't like when all the ballots were counted.
I understand
and your issue with that, and your issue with that is that somehow that was against an election process that he was trying to get all the ballots counted, but you didn't challenge it.
No.
And somehow this is supposed to make me feel some type of way about people not acknowledging who won the 2020 election?
I'm going to say this again. I'm not saying that this is some minor, this is literally changing procedural election law after election day, period. It's wrong.
You can't hype it up this much and then tell me, but nobody decided to sue over it.
I chose not to sue
Why?
over it.
Then
it wasn't worth the squeeze. I was seeing
it wasn't worth a seat in Congress?
Let me put it this way. I saw what was unfolding across the country, right? As everything started unfolding, all the lawsuits, everybody, and I saw where it was going. And there was a narrative. The courts were already rendering opinions, dismissing cases. I just didn't want to go through that.
Because so many of the cases were bad cases.
Probably. So if there were a ton of bad cases, you're asking me to argue something that I'm not going to argue.
Well, because when I gave an opinion,
I don't even think they're all bad cases.
When I gave an opinion, you seemed to disagree.
They were poorly presented.
And then what does that say about the case?
Well, I think some of the lawyers are bad. I mean, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to get a lot of flack, but like when you give Sidney Powell a case, you're fucking certifiable.
Well, what does it say if the only lawyers willing to take these cases on are shitty lawyers?
Well, then don't take the case or find a better lawyer. There were
good lawyers who
did take cases.
Really?
But because of lawyers like Sidney Powell, they got completely destroyed because she set such dangerous, poor precedent to even argue the preface of any kind of irregularity.
I submit to you that if the only lawyers that are willing to take on the cockamamie ideas that a person is putting forward, it's probably because those ideas are cockamamie ideas. They're bad ideas. They're bad cases. They were from the start. That's why nobody with any air of legitimacy wanted to touch any of them. That's why Barr quit weeks before the actual electoral count. Like every single part of how Trump has conducted himself has left it so that only the most I don't even know what you call these people. The Lindsay Halligans, the insurance lawyers of the world will even take jobs, around this guy anymore. Like, I don't think that is an accident. I don't think that Trump can have bad cases that only bad lawyers are willing to take on and then blame the bad lawyers like he did with Bondi when things don't pan out exactly the way he wants it to. I think we can probably say at some point, they're probably bad cases. And I think that past that, we should say, yeah, he lost 2020. It's pretty simple. I think that if you're going to be adjudicating a case in federal court, I don't want a judge in front of me to not know who would have won the 2020 election. I don't want them making any decision about anything about law or fact anywhere near me if they can't even answer that question.
Okay. All right, sure. We don't want a judge that can't define the 2020 election in simple terms, right? And
it's a win or loss, one word.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to go back to this.
I don't have a good comment to make other to say that you're on the right side of history. This social media is so frustrating. My brother died because he followed Joe Rogan. Sorry for your loss, my boy. I'm becoming more empathetic, so I do mean that. It is frustrating, and I really wish we took politics more seriously instead of putting out this bad information that's affecting people.
Statement I made earlier about Ketanji Jackson, or whatever her name is, Justice Jackson, or Brown, whatever.
I don't think trying to
Relax,
track somebody
okay?
on a gender definition for the trans
She's
obsession
going to
stuff,
have to hear cases on women's health.
then she can write her opinion on those cases on women's health, and you can see if you agree or disagree. What?
What is a woman? That's important.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's going to commit to some answer here that's going to be used
It's a
against her in the
simple
future. It's in the climate today. I don't know if that's a simple answer. Even Jordan Peterson didn't give a simple answer in the "What Is a Woman" documentary with Matt Walsh. Like to try to say that you can simply define some gender, whatever. Like if we're talking for health stuff, then sure, adult human female has ovaries, whatever. You want to say that's fine. But to pretend like that clearly massively ideologically motivated question, and I think it's interesting you bring this up as an example because I think it cuts to the core of the issue. Is that when you look at a Republican and you ask them like, what is 1 + 1? They'll look back at you and they'll say like, well, do you think a fetus is a human? And they act like this is the same type of question. You're laughing, but it's true. You bring the most ideologically loaded questions, and if you don't have a clear answer for that, then it's like, I don't know. Is the sky blue? Is the dirt brown? I don't know. I can't answer it. If we can't set some kind of standard of like even acknowledging who won an election, we're doomed. And having any other greater conversation topic is like what's next? Is the president going to convince people that a camouflage guy was taking a machete and hacking apart the reflection pool without any footage? Like, is that going to be the next which she's doing right now? That's an open lie that Trump is selling, right? Or is it going to be Trump on Truth Social saying, I need a lawyer who's brave enough to go and prosecute these 3 individuals, and I don't even care if it's an insurance lawyer like Lindsay Halligan and who's going to be appointed and do it, and she doesn't even know how to fucking run an indictment? This person's never been in a criminal court in her life? This is where we're at.
I just knew I was going to come in here and I was going to have to talk about the goddamn reflection pool. I just knew it. I knew it. You weren't going to let it slide.
Probably need to do some reflecting, okay?
Oh my God. Can you shut up about it already? Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway, the reflecting pool is just... Oh, wow. Anyway.
I mean, it really is a microcosm for the whole kind of...
It's just such a weird place to hang up this entire...
The Republicans chose it. They chose it, though.
I get it. I get it. Like, okay, so President Trump wanted to make it prettier. It didn't work out. Are we really going to spend the next year talking about the reflection pool?
Why? He wants to talk... You want to talk about the woman trans issues
Somebody's
for 27
determined.
years? I think it's funny.
She said yes. Oh, my God. Who was it?
It's funny because it's a clear-cut example.
Who said it? Oh, she just brown-nosed on you. You need better friends. She's just literally, oh my God. Well, look.
I feel like we're at the part where the animal looks away from the crocodile that's approaching because they're scared. Like, you can talk to her more after the show if you want, okay?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
The reflection pool is a perfect microcosm of this administration. And we can map from that on to literally, his son getting $700 million no-bid contracts or the DOD to Witkoff running around with Liberty Financial cutting deals all over the world to the disaster that is the Iran war. I mean, we can talk about literally any of these topics. All of them are turning out the exact same way. And it's not like a mistake from one to the other, where these things are just randomly happening over and over again.
Were you this upset when Hunter Biden got the Burisma contract? I'm just asking. I'm not debating you on any of that.
Tim Pool made more in 1 year than Hunter Biden made in all of his tenure of Burisma, of which the Republicans had like 7 different committees investigate. The DOJ investigated.
But were you upset?
Wait, real quick.
I don't care about all that. I'm asking, were you upset about that?
I'm trying to remember. What was he ever charged with?
A gun charge that I disagreed with.
Nothing.
I disagreed.
He didn't do anything wrong with Burisma.
Well, but didn't you see it as a bad sign of impropriety as the son of the vice president? Well, you're just pointing out Don Jr. and this and that and that. I'm like, kind of same concept. No, were you upset? That's what I'm asking.
Just to be clear, you think that Donald Trump's child getting a no-bid record high contract from Donald Trump's Department of Defense is the same as Hunter Biden, who I think made the majority of his Burisma money when Biden wasn't even the vice president anymore? That's the comparison we're going with?
That's not true. He was the vice president.
For the beginning of it, but he got
it because his dad was a vice president.
What do you mean? He's been on boards. He was part of it's like UNICEF or some health board. He had been on boards of major companies before he did the Burisma thing.
Because his father had influence.
Because what?
Because of his father's influence.
As a senator?
Yeah.
If you want to say that because his dad is a senator, fine. But even that statement is different than trading on his father's name.
He was trading on his father's name.
Really? Where's the proof of that? Don't say the big guy. I hope you got something more than that. The Republicans investigated this for like.
But the Republicans put years. The first guy, James Comer, the worst Republican in the House. The guy's actually certifiably deaf with hearing aids. That's who we chose to investigate Biden. That's why it fell apart, because we put an idiot to do it.
Oh my God! It's like the argument.
So basically, anytime something didn't go wrong with the Republican investigations, because none of them fucking work, it's you guys chose bad people to investigate. You guys chose bad people to litigate. So it's your fault. You chose bad people, but there was a crime, but you couldn't find any evidence because of the people you chose. That's an interesting cop-out. Like, that's a new cop-out of you guys being utterly incompetent and not being able to find any wrongdoing of the accusations that you make. Whereas we know for a fact that we got people like Kushner and Witkoff, especially Kushner, who doesn't have a government position, but is able to argue in behalf of the United States of America without being held to any legal or ethical standard, and is able to make deals with foreign emissaries and for not only the country but for Donald Trump and his personal with his personal wealth and his personal companies. But that is okay. Matter of fact, there was like riots going on regarding I think it was Trump Jr. regarding a deal made with one of the foreign countries. Like, bro, what the fuck are you guys doing? But hey, man, the only reason why you couldn't find anything is because of incompetent leaders, I guess.
And from 5 minutes ago, just reverberated from the back of the thing. It's all bad lawyers. It's all bad investigators. It's all bad. What does that say about the thing?
I was there when we were investigating it, and I saw how bad they were. They had
There's a reason why. At some point, certainly you must understand all of this incompetence pursuing these things. Perhaps it's not the incompetence. Perhaps the things that are being pursued lend themselves towards incompetent people. Maybe, possibly. Maybe.
Oh yeah, because there's no incompetence in the Democrat Party, right?
Show me anything. Do you want to compare the Jack Smith indictments to any of the indictments from Bondi? Are we serious right now?
No, Bondi. I'm not going to talk about Bondi. That's low hanging fruit. I don't do that.
Okay, that was our Attorney General of the United States of America.
I'm very aware.
Okay, yeah. I think it says something about our DNA that she was headed by a person that you think it's like punching down to even speak about them. So, but okay. What?
Really?
Yeah, she's a fucking retard. What? What do you want me to say? She came from Florida, okay? So what do you want me to say? Jeez. They breed them there. Just kidding, sorry. I live in Florida now. I can say that, so.
Oh, is that true? Is that true? No, seriously.
What?
Look.
We could try to move on to your point.
It's so exhausted because this is the same talking point I'm sorry to the audience and I'm sorry to people at home because I think this conversation's been had with other people, just plug and play, whoever it is, and we have the same conversations and circling.
Because the Republicans keep lying about it, yes.
But you guys only complain.
Because you guys won't acknowledge what's happening, and now we're here.
You guys wouldn't acknowledge weekends at Bernie's for 4 years.
Acknowledge what?
Literally, the White House was weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. Biden was checked out and AutoPen was running the country. There's a whole portrait on the White House. It must be true. It's hanging in the White House.
Didn't they drop that AutoPen investigation?
Oh,
they did, didn't they?
No,
because they did. Because you know why?
Ongoing.
It's not. Because they made it up. You know there's no evidence for the AutoPen thing, right? Hold on. Are you even willing to admit that? There's zero evidence that Biden AutoPenned a single thing?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, no, you're serious now. I'm actually shocked. You're saying that with a straight face. Come on, Stephen. You're better than this. You're going to say that
not only was there no evidence for it, do you think right now that we are getting the full truth about Trump's health?
I have no reason not to believe so.
Why would Trump brag about getting 3 good...
That's hilarious. So Joe Biden was using the AutoPen. He was unhealthy. He was sleepy, dare I say. No evidence of the AutoPen. But then you try to make, seriously, I could see with my eyes. The administration that made up the accusation couldn't find any evidence. But I can see with my eyes. You know what I can see with my eyes? Donald Trump being more absent, taking more vacation, looking more unwell, and sleeping more than Biden. Is he healthy? Is he sleepy? Is he there? And he's more in tune with background deep state elites that are actively having communication with him and telling him what to do. Like, this is actually objective. This is things we can see. This is things we can confirm. Is it sleepy Trump? Can we keep the same energy? No, of course not. Because you need that orange micro penis in your mouth, huh? Base.
MRIs, like in a row.
Oh, girl, do you think he visits an MRI to make sure everything's in check?
Why is it that his doctor?
What's wrong with an MRI now? Are we anti-MRIs too?
Well, half the Republicans seem to be these days. They don't believe in vaccines anymore.
I thought you were the party of healthcare. Like, oh my God, let the guy have MRIs. You people
are
awful.
lying about Trump's health.
Jesus.
You know they're lying about Trump's
health.
health.
Oh my God, we're universal healthcare. The president gets 3 MRIs. Why did he get 3 MRIs? Like, are you serious now? Is that your big issue?
They're lying about his health.
He's fine. He's alive. Unlike, look, questionable about McConnell. If you were going to talk about McConnell, we don't even know if he's alive.
Donald Trump. So what? Nicki Minaj is part of the government now. What did they say? The Islamic Republic Republic of Japan.
Keep Nikki's name out your mouth.
We had Putin instead of Zelensky. Donald Trump is making gaffes every single day, and nobody has anything to say about it.
Why are you going after Nikki randomly?
Because Donald Trump brought up her name on accident. He misspoke. That's what I'm bringing.
She's amazing. That's why.
You're not even aware.
Oh,
this is the Republican backdrop. I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about this thing. I didn't hear about that.
I have been a barb much longer than she became over.
I didn't hear about that. I'm just saying there's more evidence for Trump being senile than there ever was for Biden.
That is so not true.
Really?
True to the dimensionary. What the hell does that mean?
True to the what?
Well, but I don't know. That's literally what Joe Biden
brought up. So you brought up the
define that word.
That he misspoke.
He misspoke a lot.
Donald Trump misword us. I mean, what do you want the
Shut up,
comparison
Biden.
to be between? If Biden was
This
senile,
queen is
if
just so
Biden
exhausted,
was
swear to God.
senile, I will take Biden senile to whatever Trump is right now, because whatever you call this is not working. I have never seen. Here's the thing.
If
I've never seen
Russia
in my life.
incurs 1 inch to Ukraine, they'll be held to pay. It's been 4 years, almost 5.
Oh yeah, and what was the day zero? I'm gonna have a peace deal with Russia. I'm gonna have a peace deal with Hamas. I'm gonna have no new wars. We want to compare foreign policy records between Biden and Trump? We could do that if you want. It's not on the list, but
You're talking about cognitive decline. I'm talking about I'm talking about cognitive decline. You want to pivot? We could pivot.
I'm talking
We can
about
talk foreign
you're talking
policy.
about an old guy who's being slow.
We were literally just talking about cognitive decline, and then you pivoted to foreign policy. We could pivot, but let's finish cognitive decline first, and then we can pivot to foreign policy.
Donald Trump had executive orders explained to him when they were handed to him for him to sign. He didn't seem to have any
every
idea.
single president has that.
Oh, that's crazy. Because
No,
when
no,
I
no.
Googled that, because I was curious if that was true, and Biden seemed to explain his before he went and signed
That
it,
is
which
not
crazy.
true.
It
If
is.
you see the first 21 executive orders that Joe Biden signed the day he was sworn in, every single one of them, it's on video, was handed to him. Mr. President, this one is now the executive order on, and then blah, 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 blah. Okay, and signs.
Every single executive
every
order that Trump was
single
given,
one.
somebody, he
Same
looks,
thing with Biden.
and
And
it's
same thing
not
with
true.
Obama.
People at home can go and look it up. I've looked it up before our stream. We watched them where Biden will explain an executive order, because I had the same question. Is it normal that some fucking weirdo is explaining to you your own executive order while you're sitting there looking like a lizard with a fucking throat vagina, like trying to figure out what you're even supposed to sign? Like, it's not normal. I'm sorry. Nothing about the Trump admin is normal with regards to this.
You can say all those mean things. He's still your president.
I will, for now.
He's still your president.
Vance has got his
And he
eyes
was
on that.
twice.
Vance has got his eyes on
And
that.
he was your president twice, baby.
Well, maybe, but a lot of Trump's believe 3 times.
Girl,
So,
stop.
you know,
Nah.
who knows?
We saw that with Democrats, and we don't want to do that again.
With
right?
what?
There's a reason we have term limits is thanks to Democrats overstaying.
Sure. Well, winning elections, right?
Oh, winning elections,
Well,
yeah.
winning elections, right?
Sure, 3 terms.
Wait, can I get you on the record right now? It won't happen because I'm going to survive the whole term. If Trump were to run again, you would like completely disavow that, right? You'd say this is absolutely not okay.
I've already did that.
Oh, what?
I said I don't think there should be more than 2 terms. He's already served his 2
I
terms,
didn't hear
and I love the guy.
I said you would disavow it. You would say Trump should
I already
not.
said
If
he
he
should
runs a
not
third
run.
term,
I
I
said
don't
he should
support
not.
him.
I said he should not.
If they run a disabled, trans, black, non-binary woman as the Democrat and Trump runs again, I would vote for the disabled, trans, non-binary Democrat in the wheelchair.
I would not vote. I mean, why is the option so? I just wouldn't vote.
Okay, close enough, I guess. Have you ever seen anything, if you had to choose an action comparable to a president going on social media and announcing who he wants indicted and announcing the attorney that he wants to indict them? What is the comparable behavior here on the Democrat side?
Joe Biden weaponized his entire Justice Department to go after Trump for 4 years.
Okay, so
I mean,
didn't hear anything specific.
Melania Trump's panty drawer was tossed at Mar-a-Lago. It's a fact. It's in the
Well,
search
what
of
in there.
panties.
Okay, so
Thongs.
So
I mean, I get it.
just to be clear-
I get it. I get it. It's hard.
No.
That
I
happened.
read all those indictments, so I'm glad to go through all of them.
No, not the indictment. The affidavit of the search warrant.
I'm
It's
glad to
very
go through.
specific.
That's fine. Trump hides shit fucking everywhere, so they should toss whatever the
Oh,
fuck. He had over a
come
year to turn those documents back. Maybe the president of the United States shouldn't be hoarding top secret.
Joe Biden hoarded secrets in his garage.
What
in
happened when
Rehoboth
Biden?
Beach.
What happened when Biden found them?
He gave them in.
What happened when Trump found his? He's
He said-
ordered his employees to hide them from his own attorneys. It's in the indictment. I know it sucks because like you have to actually read through those indictments. They're not like 2 pages like the stupid SPLC bullshit indictments that the barely literate people in the DOJ right now like to put out. But like, yeah, he was hiding documents all over Mar-a-Lago. We have pictures of them. We have pictures of the documents scattered all over the floor.
There is I think it's very messed up to say that there are.
I want us to be clear on the differences on this. What Destiny just described. People try to bring up Joe Biden. They already confirmed he didn't know he had them. And then once he realized that they were in his garage, he gave it back. All of this is confirmed. All of this can be fact checked. Donald Trump knew he had them and then hid them. Intentionality of keeping secrets matters. That's the difference. But I know MAGA doesn't care about the nuance and the context. It's like, oh, I need to defend Trump. This is what I'm going to use. Yes, Daddy, please. Base.
Highly competent individuals in the DOJ. Jay Clayton is a very respected attorney. Todd Blanche is a very respected attorney. So much so they
Todd Blanche.
both of them were confirmed with Democrat votes. So then
Blanche.
I think Blanche is a very competent attorney. Yes.
Yes, he's competent to protect Donald Trump specifically as his lawyer. He's there to protect and help and do whatever Donald Trump says. So he's competent in that, being a Donald Trump sycophant, evil lawyer, for sure.
Whatever he's been reduced to work under Trump is not.
Oh, come on. Just because he works for Trump now, he's bad.
Well, I mean,
If RBG were alive and worked for Trump, you'd say she's bad.
That's the Supreme Court
but that's the standard. That's
Hold on,
your
just to be
standard.
clear,
He's Donald Trump's lawyer. He's been Donald Trump's lawyer. I don't even know how long. Let's look this up.
Do you think a Supreme Court justice serves at the pleasure of a? Do you think we?
No.
all
I
night
gave an example. If she
You
were
gave a
alive,
bad example.
Okay,
The Supreme Court doesn't work for the president of the United States like an officer of the.
I
right?
didn't use her in her capacity as Supreme Court
Oh,
justice.
so
I'm
if she
saying
was like
as
the
a
attorney-
person. Yeah, if she was the attorney general,
Then
for
I would
Trump.
also say she's being bad.
So Todd Blanche has served as Donald Trump's personal attorney from April 2023 through 2024, and then he got a position in the government based.
If she was working for Trump in the second. God bless her.
That's your standard. It's just work for Trump.
That if you work for somebody who's asking you to do basically authoritarian things and you're carrying out that mission,
So Biden. So real quick, you do not think Biden weaponized the Justice
not
Department?
even close.
Didn't.
At all.
No evidence.
Zero water on that. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Here's a simple
So I'm gonna make a claim. You don't agree with me? Okay. Yeah, stop saying dumb shit if you can't prove it. Simple.
question.
I know.
Sure,
I know.
right, this is
Gavin
the
Newsom right
easiest-
now feels different. But that's fine.
Easiest question in the world. What is one piece of evidence of coordination between Biden and Garland?
Gavin Newsom.
What?
So nothing.
Gavin Newsom. Get him out of the way because he's a threat, and I want to run a second term. Wiretap his staff. Go investigate him. This all started under Biden's administration. Right
I
here
said,
before
what
the
is
election.
evidence of
That's the evidence.
between Biden and Garland?
Biden asking Garland to take out his biggest
As
political
reported by
threat.
whom? This
Come
never
on,
happened.
Steven.
Come on.
Come on.
No, this didn't happen.
Come
we live in an
on.
alternate reality.
So this guy just makes up shit, creates magical scenarios. He's like, "Come on, what do you think they're doing?" You know, that's like me thinking that what created the universe is a magical spaghetti universe. What else could have created the universe? Like it could be anything. What's your proof? I mean, what else could it be? This is a politician. This guy, a corrupt politician. This is how he thinks. We're so cooked sometimes, bro. We're so cooked.
I don't live in an
Okay,
alternate
what do
reality.
we-
I'm actually one of
we
the
can't
more
deal with the
pragmatic
facts.
people you can talk to.
Just
And you
so-
know that for a fact.
Just to be clear, you're delusional, okay?
I'm not.
Biden had multiple, his own son was investigated under his administration. He had a special counsel appointed
Then he
to
said he
investigate
wouldn't pardon
his
him and
own-
pardoned him.
Which, after the Republicans basically fabricated two charges that nobody has ever really been charged with before.
Oh, I
One was-
agree. I agree. The gun charges were bullshit.
Sure,
I still
and
agree
the,
to
and,
this
the,
day.
and the IRS charge for taxes he'd
No,
already
no,
paid
no,
off.
tax-
He'd already paid off.
But
After
tax evasion, tax evasion.
after Hunter had already agreed to an immunity thing that they ended up tossing because they did a huge runaround. By the way, these were indictments that we were supposed to have that were relating to his Burisma affair, which, by the way, that whole thing started because the initial confidential informant lied, and he was arrested and put in prison because he lied to the FBI about it. That's why nothing ever came from Burisma, because all of it was bullshit, literally from the very beginning. From the very beginning of the weirdo that dropped the laptop off at the blind crazy dude's fucking store to all of the investigations into Hunter Biden
So
that
wait,
continued under Biden's own presidency. That continued under Biden's own
He had no
presidency.
option.
What do you mean he had no option? I'm sorry. What did
Well,
Donald
was
Trump?
he going to tell? Was he
He
going
could
to
do what Donald Trump does
Well,
and fire
was-
everybody
was
that
he
doesn't
gonna
agree
tell-
with it,
was he
right?
gonna
Wait, couldn't he
tell-
do what Donald Trump does and fire every single person that doesn't do exactly what he wants, like he did with Comey, right?
just like he did with the prosecutor in Ukraine? That's right. He fires prosecutors. I
With the
forgot about that.
what?
He holds foreign aid.
Destiny's completely right. To act like Joe Biden controlled the Department of Justice is laughable. It's ridiculous. Why would he allow them to go after his son? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would he allow them to go after Democrats, which they fucking did? Donald Trump will never allow the DOJ to go after anybody, which is why he orders them to try to keep the Epstein files from getting released. He kept on pressuring them. He told them, hey, to black out all my friends' names on the Epstein files. There's a reason why we are not going to look into the meme coin, or we're not going to look up to World Liberty Financial, that bullshit ass company that Donald Trump has. We're not going to look into Donald Trump Jr.'s dealings, the Trump phone. We're not going to look up into Jared Kushner and his private dealings. We're not going to look into any of the corruption and the crazy amount of millions to billions of dollars that Donald Trump and his family have made since he became president. Of course not. Matter of fact, he's going to use the DOJ to give him more power, which is why he tried to do the bullshit thing regarding his taxes to ensure that they can never go after his taxes ever again. And he tried to give him and his loyal followers a slush fund. Fortunately for us, we actually have some courts that were like, what the fuck is going on? This is insanity. And when they don't listen, when they don't do enough what he says, like Destiny said, fires the attorney generals, gets them out, get the watchdogs out, fires any agency that's independent. I need them to be loyal to me. That's what Donald Trump wants to do. That's what the Supreme Court is there to help them to do. That's what he's trying to do with Lisa Cook. That's the only agency that is struggling to fire, to control. And that's why when Pam Bondi wasn't doing exactly how he wants them to do, fired. That's why he fired other attorneys and then put in Lindsay like, oh, because she will listen. So we have proof of Donald Trump doing this. But Joe Biden, none. But all the Republicans, when it comes down to the very clear, objective, right in front of our face corruption that the Trump administration is doing, they got blinders on. They can't fucking see it, but they can make up shit about what Biden did. They can make up fantasy scenarios. Being MAGA and being so fucking delusional must be nice. You're on shrooms and high all the fucking time.
Hostage.
What do we talk? Yeah, he did do that.
Biden
Donald Trump
did
did
that.
that.
No, Biden
did that as part of the agreement that Europe and the United States
Fire
had
the
for loan
prosecutor that is
guarantees to
investigating
Ukraine.
your son.
The loan guarantees to Ukraine were contingent upon them cleaning up parts of their system because all of Europe. Why do you think Biden could say that so openly on stage and nobody questioned it at the time? This is Republicans desperately trying to salvage some amount of moral high ground out of fictitious events that never happened the way you guys think they did. You guys will look at look, Biden is admitting all of it right here.
Oh my God, you're spicy today.
Well, because you're
Holy
lying about
crap.
everything.
No,
You're
I'm
lying about
not.
everything. You are. All of these things are lies.
You just have TDS so bad. You can't.
You can call it
can't
whatever
find
you
one
want.
good thing. You can't find one good thing. Okay, bite me. I don't care. You can find one. You can't find one good thing that this president does.
I
Everything's
do.
bad,
I think
bad, bad, bad,
I'm
bad.
actually
It's
quite
oh my
happy
God,
that
you're like
lives
a
so much
broken
about his health.
record.
What?
You're like a broken record. Calm down.
He's a horrible president.
Calm down. Shh. Breathe. Okay, good. He's trying to laugh. He can't do it.
I'm not because it's not
Yes, you
funny.
are.
It's
You're
fucked up. It's crazy.
It's not fucked
It
up.
is.
You're
It's
just
super
so
fucked up.
mad. Oh my God.
I am mad because you
you can't live like this. It's gonna
destroying.
give you wrinkles.
Like, I agree. We can't live like this. It's
Oh my
not
God.
good. It's
Not enough
good for
Botox
us.
in the world to like fix it. Stop.
We're probably mass producing it now because every single person that passes by the Trump administration has to fill their fucking face with enough to float into the clouds.
Thank God. Thank God for that. I mean, that is a one positive. Looks maxing.
Is that looks? I thought it was Jigsaw maxing.
Okay,
I feel like in a
that's
fucking
fucked
horror
up.
movie every time I turn the TV on.
That was a very low energy clap. Nobody followed you. Try again. There you go. Come on, guys. Help him out. There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Do you think that Donald
low
Trump?
energy claps don't get the crowd going?
Do you think Donald Trump would allow a special prosecutor to investigate him in his own term?
I'm sorry.
Fuck.
Do you think Donald Trump would allow? Do you think right now?
I'm sorry. I was laughing
I
at the
know,
low
I
energy
understand.
clap.
I
Look
know.
at her hair. It is. It's amazing.
It is. Do you think that?
Beautiful.
Do you think
I
that
love
Donald
it.
Trump would allow a special prosecutor under his own term right now
For what?
to investigate him?
Sure. Didn't we do this before with Mueller?
What happened with Mueller?
It was nothing but
Mueller was only appointed because he fired Comey because he was trying to obstruct his investigation, and he begged Sessions, please, not a special prosecutor. And then Mueller came about because he didn't know at that point that he had to have iron control over every single person that he appointed. That's why Barr even ended up ditching him because of how crazy Trump was. That's why I said this term, because this term he realizes that he needs more jigsaws like Bondi or Blanche and not actual conservatives like Barr. For as much as you might hate him, at least
you're gonna lose a lot of support in the liberal housewives market. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Do not do that. That's not gonna work. There's a lot of liberals who love the Real Housewives, and you're like making attacks like that. I'm just letting you know. Just take it easy. Stop calling everybody jigsaw. That's not nice. Lisa Reed is
They're
gonna fucking
weird.
bite
The
you.
look is inappropriate.
Just be
It's unbecoming
careful.
of the positions they hold. There are
Okay,
times and places and
I
ways
warned
you
you.
can
And
present
if
yourself.
I see a news article of Lisa Rena coming after you, I will pray for you. I promise.
Okay.
I will. I'll
Oh my
pray for
God.
you.
Okay.
No,
I'm more
You're
concerned
so
with like
adorable.
Kristi Noem like lying about U.S. citizens being murdered by feds, and
come
then
on. Okay.
I feel like that's kind of more of an issue, but
Yeah, sure.
yeah, it is.
No, I mean,
So
you're okay with Alejandro Mayorkas letting 30 million people or whatever the number is in the country, right?
we don't even know because
Yeah.
that's a fucking lie.
I mean,
right? You don't know because it's a lie. You have no idea, right?
I was in a house towards facilities, literally CBP leadership were like, sir, they say it was 5,000, but we processed 15, but we say that the number's 5,000, literally coming from CBP officers.
So the Cato Institute of people who study this, I think it's like 4 million or something.
4 million. You think that's not a lot of people that shouldn't be here?
I think it's not 30 million, and if you have to lie that much about it, it makes me wonder if the 4 million matter.
I'm going to make it very clear. 4, 30, 10, 100,000. These are people who literally came in here, and the majority, I'm not saying all of them, but the majority of them, we don't even know who they are. We didn't vet them. We didn't process them accordingly.
Really?
The majority, no.
That's crazy. Millions came in, and the only fucking name I hear is Lincoln Riley over and over and over again. Where are all of the murders and all of the arsons and all of the actual dog eatings?
Jocelyn Nungarai.
You got me. There were 2 names. You remember the second one. Good job. Your claim is bullshit, and you know that. That millions of people all came in here. They're all criminals.
I'm not saying they're all criminals. I didn't say that.
Sure, but
I'm just saying we don't know who they are.
Sure, and you
And
know
that
what?
should be concerning.
Oh, should it be? Then maybe the Republicans should do something about immigration, about border legislation, about anything. Instead, what do we
There's
do?
a great legislation right now being championed in Congress. It's bipartisan, the Dignity Act by Salazar and whatever the
Oh,
Democrat.
that's crazy. The only thing I ever hear Trump talk about is how to
Eric
rig the
said
next
the
election
first
and get the
nice thing
USPS to.
You're smart. I can't believe you even put these guys up on your channel. I'm just watching their debate, man.
Try to do whatever.
That's not true.
Really.
You do.
And
have
the
to,
SAVE
yes.
Act and okay.
Oh my God.
I feel like that's what I hear more.
You need to
of.
come hang out. Oh, you know what? You need to touch grass. Come to the Poconos. I promise you.
Yeah.
You will.
Oh my God! Shut
We will
up, George.
I'd
disconnect
rather
you.
camp outside Walter Reed and look for a McConnell-sized body bag being shipped out the back right now. Is what I would rather. I'd be more interested in. I want to be the first one reporting
Can
on
I
it.
come
so
with you? Can I come with you for that one? That might be an interesting.
Find whatever
excursion.
room they hit him and Jordan Peterson in and see what's going on with that. But there has been nothing on the Democrat side. You said all of the Merrick Garland stuff comparable to Donald Trump tweeting out, Lindsey Halligan needs to go after these 3 people. Do you think the Comey indictment is fair? The 86-47 thing? That's indictable behavior.
Yes.
So was it Matt Gaetz and Jack Posobiec who sold the 86-47? I'm right here.
No.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay.
I know. For the Republicans,
he wants to debate me.
For the Republicans that sold the 86-46 shirts or whatever, you think they should all be indicted too?
No.
I don't even know what to ask this. What's the difference in your mind?
James Comey was
to see the
former director of the FBI. That's the big difference.
So he has less freedom of speech rights?
No, his words matter more than others. It's true. Stop.
His words matter more than other. But Donald Trump, when he tweets things like "I'm going to end a civilization tonight" or any of that, those words don't matter. That's all just a meme.
Are we talking about the Iran war?
True.
Well, I mean, because you change subjects, you pivot so much. I feel like
it's not a pivot. It is trying to find a consistency in terms of moral foundation. And in this situation, you're putting more leverage into what one person is saying as a threat to Donald Trump as a president compared to other individuals who say the exact same thing. So then when we use the same type of moral consistency and apply it to Donald Trump, the guy that has the most authority in the country, who threatens to kill or destroy an entire nation or threatens to kill politicians, that energy is not kept. That's what's going on. It's not a pivot. This is completely related. It's finding moral consistency, which Republicans just don't have. You guys don't have morals. You guys are not consistent. These are hypocrites. And you will do whatever it takes to defend the orange fat man, Nepo baby, so he can put his micro penis in your mouth. I mean, you have a guy talking about the death of the president. I mean, if that's what he intended, that's not okay. I don't advocate doing a message talking about the death of the president. I think that's not good. Not good at all.
Are you running for office?
Sorry, let's keep
Oh my God.
let's keep on the same topic. So words matter, talking about different people and everything else. For Donald Trump, when he says that 6 members of Congress should be executed for treason, is that responsible speech?
Did he say that they should be executed, or was who said that? Who said that? Oh,
All right. I appreciate it. We got to
Okay.
focus here, though. Okay. The audience is going to talk to you soon.
that's
I
fine.
promise.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love this. I love this. They're great. He hates me.
A picture
Ask
of
the question again.
86-47, first of all, on its own, doesn't rise to any level of incite to violence or threatening behavior or anything. That's absurd. You should know this, number one. And number two, if any world where we're going to interpret tweets as being threatening or whatever else, the president of the United States saying that we should execute members of Congress for treason has got to be up there. It's hard.
I'm not going silent. I never
difficult.
shut up.
It's
It's just like
difficult. I
I
understand
have
it's
to
difficult.
comprehend, because you will twist everything on its head. It's like so fucking hard with you.
Okay, okay. A picture, seashells, 86-47
That
is
former-
criminal
no,
conduct,
put it in
incitement to violence. That's what you charge it for.
Put it in context. The former director of the FBI, who served 8 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure, yeah. Before he was fired by Trump because he was trying to obstruct an investigation into his own, campaign and everything for colluding with Russia, which they did. Yeah,
Director
but go
of
ahead.
the FBI serves
Yep.
at the pleasure of the president.
Sure.
You can appoint and fire them. So is
According to the Supreme Court now, for any reason, yeah, correct, yeah.
there anything wrong with that termination?
Well, if it
He's
was
an
done,
at-will employee of the United States government. The president chose to fire him. Everybody creates innuendos as to it was because of this. He fired him.
Yes. It used to be, as the president of the United States, be in charge of the executive branch. It used to be that there needs to be a good rationale for the firing. That's what it used to be. But now it's all about loyalty. Rationale, reasoning, doesn't matter. Loyalty, which is authoritarian, which is fascist, all that guy.
Do you have proof? Can you materialize proof? Why wasn't he prosecuted for it then?
well, Mueller said why he wasn't. It was
What
because
happened
of
to the Mueller report?
was because-
Why was it a nothing burger?
because
Why
Mueller
didn't
said.
it go anywhere?
Do you know?
Why
that I know
did
the
it go
answer, and that's why you
nowhere?
want me to
Please
talk?
tell me.
Do you want me to?
Oh,
You
yeah,
shouldn't
I'm
be
sorry.
cutting me off.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Mueller didn't
I'm
believe
sorry.
that a sitting president could be indicted and prosecuted by his own Department of Justice. Mueller said repeatedly through his report, if you read it, all 320 whatever pages of it, that there was obstruction, that Donald Trump was firing Comey because he was trying to obstruct his own investigation. Even you know that, because Trump's stated reason for firing Comey was because he felt like he shouldn't have made a public announcement about Hillary's emails, which makes no sense, because why wouldn't he just fire him the day that he came in? So we know that Trump fired Comey because of the investigation. Then Comey's contemporaneous notes say that. It's obvious that that's what happened, and that's what Mueller agreed with his conclusion. And Mueller couldn't recommend charges because every part of it was obstructed. And you can't recommend obstruction to the DOJ when the DOJ is not going to investigate a sitting president because the sitting president's DOJ.
Okay.
What's your next question?
No. After the fact, then.
Do you disagree with anything I
After
just
the
said?
fact, no, I don't disagree.
Okay,
I
thank you.
saw the report.
Okay. Do you agree that he fired Comey to obstruct the investigation?
I don't believe that that's a
Why do you think he fired Comey?
Because he serves at the pleasure of the president.
Why do you think? Why do you fire Comey?
Whatever reason Trump put out there, I have no reason to believe otherwise.
You have no theory of mind.
Because I have no reason to go turn everything.
You have
into
no
something.
idea, no concept of why Trump might have done a thing. That's you understand that that's ridiculous.
Stop talking to her. Talk to me. Why are you
Because you're
bringing her
appealing
into
to her.
this?
I'm just saying it's like you can't even get. I don't know why. I know that Biden was senile 100%, and the auto pen for sure definitely was a thing, even though there's no proof of it whatsoever. And the Trump White House, who took all their time to hang up these stupid fucking pictures of it, dropped their own investigation into it, just like they dropped their investigation into voter fraud every time they come into office and they found nothing, right? But there's a pattern there, crazy, huh? I'm just saying that. You can't even guess why you think Comey was fired by Trump. But you seem to know that Biden, with no evidence, was colluding with Garland to stop Newsom from running.
I don't have to guess. I'm just, honestly speaking, for me, I think you dip way deeper into politics than I do, and that's surprising. No.
Like factual politics, like fact-based.
You dip way deeper because I look at whatever people put out there, and I'm like, whatever. I'll take it at face value. I don't go investigate it.
Oh, so you're a dumbass. And this guy ran for Congress. We have dumbasses that ran for Congress. You look into facts. You deep dive. I'm just like, you say something I like and I believe you. And you do something I don't like and then I don't believe you. It's all vibes. I want to believe who I want to believe. And I want to believe the orange guy that pardoned me because I'm a corrupt piece of shit. And I also want to believe the guys that give me money. So that's all I care about. I love how they're just honest on how much of a piece of garbage people like this are. I love how they're honest. The typical MAGA way of life when you're a politician. Facts mean nothing. Money means everything. Love to see it.
Turn anything into like
I'm just taking the Mueller report at face value. I'm just taking the Mueller report at face value. You're taking what they say on Fox News at face value. That's the difference.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Mueller report at face value. Why did Biden, when he came in, not do good?
Come on, man. I can't believe that you would listen to people like that. I'm not listening. I'm reacting.
On the Mueller report, it was still within statute.
What do you mean not do good on the Mueller report?
Why didn't Garland go and say, all right, he's no longer a former president? Why didn't they prosecute him on that? Because it was a nothing burger. Because
Democrats, every single time Republicans push us to the brink of oblivion, Democrats decide, well, we need to bring it back to a more reasonable place.
You were once
that's why when you say, oh, you know that Biden was controlling the DOJ, you say that, and every liberal shrieks inside because we did want to see an aggressive DOJ, and we didn't. We got Garland, who slow walked those indictments, who slow walked everything for the J6 for like 2 years before we got. Trump had like 9 months with the Department with records, with NARA or whatever, before they finally recommended to the FBI that they should investigate, because Trump was digging around all day with the classified documents and everything. It took so long for anything to come out that by the time we finally kind of got the ball rolling on things, looks like Trump won the next election, and now all of it's gone and dismissed. To say that was an aggressive DOJ,
you don't think that was an aggressive DOJ?
Absolutely not.
In so many ways, it did unprecedented things.
Because we had an unprecedented monster in the White House. What do you mean? What a stupid statement.
Biden, yes, he was an unprecedented monster in the White House.
Biden compared to Trump?
I mean, you just said it. I didn't say it. You literally just said it. I said it was an aggressive DOJ.
Trump was in the White House.
But
that DOJ was responding to Trump's crimes, correct? And it was unprecedented. That's right. Past presidents had the humility to assume that they couldn't openly commit crimes. That's why Nixon accepted the pardon from Ford. And it's why Ford felt like he had to pardon Nixon. It's because Nixon thought he was going to be convicted of a crime. Because that's usually how people operate. Trump thinks he's above the law. And now the Supreme Court has basically said as much. You could at least acknowledge it.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Really?
I'm sorry. Oh my God. Jesus. Look.
He took the documents at Mar-a-Lago, right? He had those, right? He was showing them to people saying, I could have declassified these, but I didn't. Ha ha. Right?
He declassified some of them.
He didn't.
Yes, he did.
Then why did he say, I could have, but I didn't? Let's be honest, too. He's probably too fucking retarded to even know how to declassify anything. So it's not even. And also, some of it he didn't have the power to declassify.
You don't mean that, right?
I do mean that.
No, you don't.
Of course I do. What do you mean? He's a fucking idiot.
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's your president still.
That's fine. I can have an idiot president. You think you had a scene?
Fuck you. Fuck him. Fuck Trump. He's your president still. Get the fuck out of here. We do not live in this world where we can be courteous to a Republican president. They can go fuck themselves. This party's garbage and it needs to be disbanded. Pleasantries are gone. Pleasantries are over. You can't do as much disgusting, deplorable, corrupt shit as this party has done and act like I need to give them respect still. Get the fuck out of here. Give me a fucking break. And again, stop pretending like you're holy art thou. You had a corruption case and got pardoned by Trump. You stole money from people, voters. Get the fuck out of here.
I think I have an idiot one.
But I respected the senile one.
I don't respect the idiot evil one. I don't have to respect him. What do you mean?
You don't respect the office?
I do. Trump doesn't.
Of course he does.
No, he doesn't. How does Trump respect the office of the presidency? Then why does he have his personal lawyer running around and doing all of his lawsuits and work for it? What do you mean? Look to the audience again. Debate him. You got him.
I'm going to poison you at dinner. I'm going to poison you at dinner, Brian. Oh, well, no, that's a warning. Don't eat. Anyway, so
What do you think is the most corrupt thing that Trump has done in office with the DOJ?
I've seen nothing that I can turn around and say was corrupt. I can say what I don't like that's happening in the administration.
The fact that Epstein and more immigrants are not deported for sure, 100%. Maybe they're on war, maybe Jewish stuff, maybe. You should use your platform for good, like free trade schools where they pay you and give a guaranteed job, making no less than $80,000 a year. About all the manufacturing come back to America. I am an advocate of trade school. I don't think manufacturing will save all of America's issues. I know a lot of Republicans have used that as their go-to to save the economy, even though Joe Biden was objectively better in terms of manufacturing jobs than Donald Trump, and it's not even close. It's, I don't know, maybe not close is the wrong word, but Joe Biden was better at manufacturing jobs or creating them. I mean, I think the future is tech jobs, but we just do a terrible job in terms of building a foundation or a gateway, a funnel system to incorporate more people into the tech industry. But it is what it is. I am an advocate for trade school, and if people want to do manufacturing jobs, so be it. I think, but I prefer to move to other field sectors. We can honestly offload a lot of that manufacturing work, but that's just my opinion.
Case, I don't like it. I don't like how it's being handled. I really don't.
Whose fault is that?
You can blame it on the entire administration. I don't care.
Why not Donald Trump?
You can blame it on
Donald
Trump, Bondi,
Okay, cool.
whoever.
Okay, cool.
My point
Trump
is,
was telling people the FBI needs to censor his name.
listen
out of the
that
files,
is
right?
not true.
Really?
That is
So
not
would
true.
everybody lie about that?
That's not true.
Why is that not true?
Who said that
you
on the
don't like
record?
it?
Who said that on the record? Was it an anonymous source?
It was reported on by every single major.
Who said it on the record?
I don't remember.
Nobody.
On the
It was an
record
anonymous source, as usual.
Oh, okay.
Am I boring you? Is that why you're yawning? She's so bored. I mean, so I'm kind of like, let's move on. Can we talk about?
So when those Epstein files were released,
all right, you know what?
and Trump's name was censored and redacted, all of them. Was that just on accident, or was it lucky, or? Okay. What does this guy always say? More. He's in the Epstein files like 20 times more than Jesus. His name is in the gospel. Or whatever. Not that Trump's read that either, but I mean.
All right, can we talk about Democrats a little bit? Because it's like, no, I mean, we're going to start.
Let's talk about Democrats.
No.
Let's talk about
hold on,
Democrats.
time out. I can continue talking about Republicans, but are we going to address?
I want to talk about Democrats.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Tulsi Gabbard said that Donald Trump went to war with Iran without consulting the intelligence community. Why? How is it even possible? You guys, because you say Gabbard was a Democrat all the time, right? You said Tulsi Gabbard's a Democrat all the time. Don't you guys say that? We can talk about RFK Jr. Wait. I'm just curious on this, and then we can talk about the rest of the Democrats.
No, they are not Democrats.
Do you think that
they are not Democrats?
Somebody admits that. Thank you.
They are not.
Do you think that we solved?
They were Democrats. Like you were a Republican.
Did we solve? I was a Republican when I was a teenager. I had an excuse to be an idiot. Okay, all right. Did we solve
You're
autism?
spicy today.
Did we solve
I said that it was going to be a spicy, sassy queen debate, and you actually understood the assignment. Okay. Now.
Did we solve autism with RFK? Does that happen? Is autism solved?
First of all, that's a low ball. Stop.
I'm just saying, you guys.
I have a hot take. I think every political debate needs to be contentious, and it needs to be an aggressive back and forth. This moderated, ask you a question and you answer to me in the audience. No, I need back and forth. Go. Challenge, go at it. We need spicier, we need debates where people are challenged. That is what I advocate moving forward for political debates. Destiny completely railroading someone who ran for Congress. This should be normal. We should really test the waters of how incompetent most Republican candidates are, like Royce White. So let's go. This is moving forward. We need to change the game of how political debates are done. They need to be more contentious. And honestly, Matt Diamore, I came around with it. That I am including primaries too. Primaries need to be contentious, not like mean, not like you are my enemy. Like how Syed and Stevens is like an aggressive, you're my enemy type race. We're still on the same side to destroy MAGA, but it needs to be more aggressive. And people need to get torched like Santos is right now.
Make a joke at everything he says. Meanwhile, Fauci gets one statement half wrong about something, and now you guys are watching your kids die of measles, and you're like, I told him so. Like, it's not, how is it even remotely a tenable position to not care about anything anybody in office does on your side, but on our side, you're critical of every
You're
single
talking
person.
about vaccines. I'm not going to get into the debate of vaccines.
You're talking about Hunter Biden Burisma, whose entire income at Burisma is a rounding error to any number of Trump's crazy fucking money-making schemes. It's not even close.
Low energy. Oh, no. Oh, it's picking up. Yes! He understood the assignment, Brian. Buy him dinner.
Sorry, we're going to talk about Democrats now.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Fuck you, Destiny.
It's an impossible. Do you acknowledge that this is a hard debate for you? It is harder for you than me. It is because Trump is fucking insane, and it is the most corrupt administration
ever. I can sit here
ever.
and tell you with a straight face that I think he's a great president, and I mean it.
What does that mean to you? What does it mean to be a great president?
I think he's a great president.
Great
Is he
how?
perfect? Is he perfect?
Great
He's
how?
not perfect.
Great how?
He's not perfect. Nobody's
how?
freaking perfect. I like his policies. I like his foreign. I like his border policy. Do you not like his border policy?
No, I don't.
Oh, so you rather more people coming in?
That's the option. Either an executive order at the border pretending everything is fixed, or unlimited immigration into the country. Those are the two things.
Do you prefer 4 million people coming in unvetted, or do you prefer no people coming in unvetted?
I would probably
that is a
prefer
question.
No people, but you know what? I would
okay, so
prefer?
you prefer no people.
You know what I would
like
actually
that.
like?
Actually, we found common ground.
What if we have a actual immigration bill to deal with some of the people?
There
that are
is
here?
one working its way through Congress.
We had one at the end of Biden's term, and Trump shot it down because he didn't like the fact that Democrats were going to do something about the border. And Ted Cruz and everybody else on the record.
And you believe that?
That's what everybody said. Trump said it publicly. The nice thing is I don't have to guess at your guys' conspiracies. You guys are open about them.
Trump said he didn't like it, but that's not the reason it didn't pass. They didn't have the vote to begin with.
They had the votes
They
for
did
it.
not.
They absolutely did.
They did not.
They did because Ted Cruz and
It
everybody else had to
passed
come out
through
and
the
talk
House.
about.
I was there and I
Oh
voted
my
against
God.
the bill myself. It was a bad bill.
It wasn't a bad bill.
It was a bad bill. It gave broad amnesty to almost 10 million people. It was a bad bill.
Absolutely did not.
Yes,
give
it did.
amnesty. This was a Republican bill.
No, it was not.
It was. It came from Lankford in the Senate. I know that's a different place than where you were at, but there are Republicans in the other place too in the Senate. What do you mean?
I forgot about the nursing home. I know it's Senator Lankford's bill. I understand that it's easy to...
The nursing home?
The Senate.
Oh, I'm thinking of the White House. My bad. Keep going.
Right. Sure.
How old is Trump again?
Sure.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it crazy
Yeah,
that
because Biden wasn't a fucking nursing home patient.
at least Biden's not a fucking retard?
He is a retard. Biden is a demented retard.
You're making fun of a car firing on half the cylinders while your car doesn't have any tires. It doesn't get up the finish line.
Stop! You're going to give me wrinkles. They're going to come through the Botox, you crazy son of a bitch.
Netanyahu needed 5 minutes of slam poetry with Donald Trump to convince him to nuke Iran, okay? And Biden, for all his senility, realized that Netanyahu is full of shit. Who's the retard? What's going on here?
I don't like Netanyahu either, so it's tough.
Well, it must be hard because Trump was his biggest fan. Wait, actually, or he might hate him right now. Or he might be his biggest fan right now. I'm not sure because it changes every 2 fucking minutes, which is a big symptom of senility, by the way. Frequently changing your mind and having no idea what's going on around you.
All right, are we going to talk about Israel now? Is that it?
We can talk about whatever you want.
I don't know. Like you,
The Democrats.
Are you
the Democrats?
for-
We're doing the Democrats.
All right,
Democrats.
all right. So let's go back. Can we go back to 2024?
Arguing with a
Can we
Republican
go
about
back to
Trump,
2024
it's like
for a
fighting a
second?
boss battle where every single part is like vulnerable. You can talk about anything. And it's like targeted here on everything.
Because Joe Biden was so ironclad, his administration was so perfect.
Compared to Donald Trump, he was the fucking Pope.
He was a dumpster
And you know
fire.
what? That maps because you guys even hate the fucking Pope now, so it even works for that analogy. Jesus Christ.
Yo, Destiny got me with that one. Destiny got me with that one. It was a fucking Pope. You know that works because you hate the Pope. They do fucking hate the Pope. The religious zealots of the right now just hate the guy that's supposed to represent Catholicism, the Pope. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. JD Vance even threatened the Pope. Like, this shit is so fake. Republican MAGA, they're just so fake. They're fake as fuck, bro. Fake ass Christians, fake ass religious zealots, fake as fuck. Oh my goodness. I guess the only religious zealot is Ted Cruz because he said, we have to save Israel because it's our destined duty. Or whatever. Fuck. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
Don't bring Jesus into this.
Okay.
Listen, inflation was a shit show. Immigration was a shit show.
Why was inflation so bad?
Oh, is it Trump's fault too?
No, I'm just curious. Why do you think inflation was bad? Watch this.
COVID.
Oh, was that Biden's fault?
No.
Why
Was
would
it Trump's fault?
Not really.
Was it Trump's fault?
No, but I'm not blaming Trump for
Oh,
inflation.
okay, great. All right, so COVID, nobody could have controlled it, right? But were Biden's policies friendly for reducing inflation?
No, but that wasn't the goal of the policies at the time, right?
It should have been.
When the whole world economy, hold on. Do you ever want to want to deficit spend as a government ever?
No. We should not deficit spend.
Ever.
Never. We should balance the budget.
Oh,
at every
like they did in the
opportunity.
Great Depression.
My point is, I mean, the fact, listen to what I'm trying to say, seriously. The fact that we can't get a single administration, and this is my biggest criticism of even President Trump, we cannot get a single administration since Clinton and Newt Gingrich, which is mind-blowing, to balance the budget. It is.
Why is that?
Because everybody likes everybody likes porculous spending.
Everybody.
Both sides.
No, Donald Trump loves crazy spending, which is why the budget deficit is at historic highs under Donald Trump. Come on. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Biden was trying to keep the economy stable because of COVID, where everything was shut down. Very different scenarios. Donald Trump just said, fuck the economy and ruined it anyway, even though it was already improving after COVID was over.
Everybody, both sides.
Both sides.
What did Obama have to spend through when he came into office?
Iraq,
And
Afghanistan.
the global catastrophic financial market meltdown.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's true. 3 big ones. And then his deficit spending was coming under. It was getting better. And then Trump comes in. Why the fuck is he deficit spending before COVID? No fucking reason. And the deficit got worse.
Obama handed Trump
A booming economy. What are you talking about? A stock market that was posting all-time highs, unemployment at record lows, GDP growth that was...
So what Trump inherited was Obama's, all Obama's. And then what Biden inherited was his? Because you guys...
Biden inherited COVID and a worsening economy that was under a global pandemic. Like, it's just like context is so oblivious to MAGA. It's oblivious to MAGA. Obama inherited the Great Depression. Biden inherited COVID. This is just objectively true. Like, what are you fighting? What are you fighting? Bush became president because Bush was fortunate enough. I don't even want to say fortunate. I'm going to leave it there. But Republicans always win because of a situation that they didn't do and is able to campaign off of it. I'll just say that. Come on.
Love parading. Trump could have never saved the country.
Hold on. Wait, you just said like, hold on, your dad was your grandfather's son, and I'm supposed to believe that you're your dad's son? Yes, what do you mean? Yes, the president inherits the thing for the president before him. What do you mean?
Great, I agree with that.
Okay.
So can you agree that Biden inherited something on the right tracks from Trump? Operation Warp
No.
Speed? I'm just trying to figure out which one is it.
I agree with that, but it's funny that you named the one policy from Trump that every fucking conservative hates. But yeah, Operation Warp Speed was fine. I think that was good.
I
Yeah.
actually love Operation Warp Speed.
Okay, that's fine.
So don't put every conservative in the same basket.
So Trump had Operation Warp Speed. Okay, I'll give him that.
So
But that's how we
Is Operation Warp Speed, does it have to do with chips? Operation Warp Speed. Oh no, this was like the investments and the spending to deal with COVID. Yeah. Biden inherited that and started doing that as well. But Biden gets shit on for the amount of the spending he was doing, but Trump is going to get praised. That's hilarious. That's funny as fuck.
We're talking about. We were talking about inflation, but I'm saying that Obama comes in and you name 3 fucking once in a lifetime catastrophes that the Democrats
Trump had a once in a lifetime catastrophe, and you guys essentially almost blamed them for COVID.
But I'm saying, why was Trump engaged?
Did you blame Trump for COVID?
Why was Trump engaged in so much deficit spending when he came into a booming economy? He passed a huge tax cut. He couldn't do anything about the ACA. They cried about that. He didn't get his infrastructure bill, but he was still spending for no reason. And then his deficit got bigger until COVID.
MAGA's in trouble when midterms come. War criminals, they better be. We just need to lock up whatever's going on in Maine so the MAGA can lose every fucking seat. Bloodbath. That's what I want.
He also capped it. A lot of people like
colloquial bloodbath, not a real bloodbath before MAGA starts, spurging out.
like to say he passed a huge tax cut and it was all about giving tax breaks for the rich. He capped salt taxes.
Oh wow.
It's a cap on the rich.
It's more spending.
No, it's not.
It's when you reduce the revenue that you make and you don't adjust your expenses, that means that you're spending more money, right? Yes, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what did Donald Trump do when he reduced his tax receipts with your state and local tax cap deductions? Okay, right? And then you don't adjust your spending. What happens?
Obviously, inflation.
Okay. Now Biden comes in off of the back of COVID. We get the whole Israel fiasco, and then we get Ukraine, Russia, right? Are any of these Biden's fault?
I'm not saying they're Biden's fault. That's the difference between you and I. I don't blame Ukraine on Biden.
You blame inflation on Biden. You just did that in real. These people.
Observations that he said no.
It's like coming into the kitchen when you've ruined everything. And your brother's there and he's done nothing. And you're like, well, I'm not pointing any fingers. No shit, because you fucked it all up. You don't get credit for that. Republicans fuck shit up in office. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not in the business of blaming.
I am. That's what I'm here to do tonight. I'm here to blame somebody because Republicans have fucked shit up over and over again. I know they don't want to be in the blame game because if they were, they would be getting all the blame.
Jesus Christ.
I know. He can't help the Republicans now.
You're so bad. No.
Well, maybe you can bring McConnell back.
I can't even get mad at you for that comment because I kind of agree with you on that one. Huh? Oh no, we have common ground. We have plenty of common ground.
Do you remember Doge? How are we going to pretend like Republicans are doing anything for spending? It's not both sides. You said it yourself. The last balanced budget was a Democrat
with a Republican speaker. It was a
The thing that annoys me about Destiny is he would sometimes he would have these very important, very valuable debates, but it kind of undermines itself when he's like friendly with these guys behind the scenes. I just don't get this idea of being friending of people that are endorsing evil. I can't. I couldn't do it.
bipartisan effort. It was a bipartisan effort. It was an actually great bipartisan effort. It was Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton. Are you going to deny that, or is Newt Gingrich not a Republican anymore?
So we give the Speaker of the House credit when it's a good thing
when he does his budget, when he does his job. Yeah, absolutely. No. Okay. I'll give any Speaker of the House when they do their job. Their actual obligation, which is to balance the budget and pass individual spending bills. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'll give Pelosi that.
What was Trump championing? The big beautiful Botox bill or whatever the fuck it was called. How did that? We solidify like the spending is a fucking disaster, and it's the Republicans that do it. We have to be honest.
It's only the Republicans.
We have to be honest.
It's only the Republicans.
Yes, majority of the Republicans right now. Yes.
You do understand that we're still spending at Nancy Pelosi levels of spending because we are still reappropriating her CRs, which are inflated by 45% because they were pandemic era spending. We're still spending at the same level of the pandemic era.
Do you know why?
Do you know why? That's not innuendo. I'm just saying. So
do you think that I would
criticize? We're still spending at Pelosi spending.
Do you think that I would criticize Bezos for buying a yacht? I wouldn't, because Bezos might have Bezos' level of spending, but he probably also has Bezos' level of income. Pelosi might want to spend at a certain level, but Democrats aren't the ones that are constantly pushing to defund the government. At the very least, Biden tried to pass legislation where the cost of the legislation also was offset by other revenue-raising tools. So like the IRA, the reason why it was called the Inflation Reduction Act, because he was trying to match spending cuts. Republicans don't.
But it failed. You agree that it failed?
No,
you don't think the IRA failed at all?
What do you mean failed at all?
It was a bad bill. It didn't do its job.
You can call it a bad bill, but what I'm saying is
it didn't do its job. That's what I'm saying.
What was the job? It was an infrastructure, some in the green energy investment or something.
And it was supposed to invest back in America, buy American, or whatever the name of the slogan was. And, and it was supposed to help with inflation. It didn't help.
No, it doesn't help with inflation.
It was supposed to. It was billed as that. I mean, the way that they sold it to the public.
You were a member of Congress?
I was
not
not
tell
at
me
that time.
that the limited extent you have with legislation is the name of the fucking bill.
No.
Was the Patriot Act about a fucking movie with a fucking...
You're missing the point. No.
No, I'm not missing the point. Don't sit here and tell me, well, it was called the Inflation Reduction Act, and you know what? Actually, it didn't actually reduce the inflation. Correct, it didn't. The reason why it was called the Inflation Reduction Act was because they tried to match the spending of the bill and offset it.
I understand that.
Yes, it didn't reduce inflation.
I understand the appropriation process that it took. I get all of that. My point is, it failed to accomplish most of what it sought out to do.
It was a bill that had spending measures tied to it for investing in...
And it failed.
It failed how?
It failed.
I don't know what that means. What do you mean there was money that was spent for investments into green energy infrastructure in the United States houses. What do you mean failed? I know that it worked because Donald Trump has to put his name on all the fucking signs. This is paid for with the Biden fucking IRA or the Biden fucking infrastructure bill. So I know it works. Just like I know the ACA works because Donald Trump's up here saying, actually, we kind of like pre-existing conditions and, we just cap Medicaid and blah, blah, blah. And all this other shit that Biden did that Republicans like to pretend is horrible.
Great. I think that's great.
That's fine, but Democrats should probably get some credit for it instead of Trump acting like he's doing novel shit. Well, he is doing novel shit. Just not stuff that you want to...
Okay, here's the thing.
No, wait.
Here's something that nobody likes to acknowledge. Who capped insulin prices?
Biden did initially.
No, it wasn't. Trump started it. It's true. And then Biden finished it, but Trump started it at the end of his last term. It's true. It's a fact.
Okay.
Is that a good thing?
No, I don't like price controls, actually. I'm more of a libertarian guy when it comes to the capital markets. So
I fucking hate you. I swear. Why do I do this? Why the fuck did I come? Like, you're awful.
Where were we?
Oh, who said that? Oh, that's actually true, I think.
What? Donald Trump is on track to be responsible for like a third of the debt on his own. That's kind of crazy. At what point do we think maybe Republicans have the spending problem? Maybe.
I think, but dude, you're arguing something with me that I'm out there. Can you even hear what I say? Or I know I don't.
You praise Trump, and then all the issues you have with the government, Trump does, but you still suck him off. It must only be because he pardoned you. I'm be honest. That must be the only reason.
I don't expect you to.
I do hear what you say. It's infinite excuses.
I'm not excusing. I'm literally telling you. I agree. Republicans have a spending issue.
You think it's the same as the Democrats? It's not.
I think they both have awful spending issues.
You just repeated what I said softer. I'm telling you that's not the case.
They both have spending issues. If they didn't, but
would in 2016 would Hillary Clinton have done the Trump tax cuts?
I'm sorry, what?
Would Hillary have done the same tax cuts?
I can't remember Hillary's policies. Or are you saying if she would have? What are you saying?
If Hillary was elected as the president of the United States, would she have been an advocate for the same types of tax cuts that Donald Trump was?
I don't know.
Okay.
When you come up,
I don't know. You're talking about one of the most practical and pragmatic human beings to ever be in politics. She probably would have.
I don't think there's any evidence for it. I don't think she would have. Do you think that when they solidified the Trump tax cuts, do you think when they solidified the Trump tax cuts, do you think that Biden or Harris would have done that in a second term? Would have tried to solidify the Trump tax cuts without matching with any spending cuts whatsoever?
No.
Okay, so the Republicans spend more. They do, and they don't make any more money. They try to defund our IRS. They're spending crazy money on wars that I don't even know if they know why we're in them. They're
Thank you.
It's
Oh, well, we know why we're in the war with Iran. Is that what you're referencing to? I think
with Iran. I don't
Do you
know if
want
you
Iran
know.
to have a
I know
nuclear
why
war?
we're there.
Why? Please
Because
tell
Trump
me.
is fucking retarded.
Oh my God. Is that really your reason for everything?
When the guy is a
Yes.
Can you
retard,
give,
kind of,
give
yeah.
me a substantive answer?
When
Why
he-
do you
when
think?
he's that
Give me something
stupid,
at least a notch more intellectual.
A
Than
substantive
he's a
answer is
retard.
that Donald Trump doesn't
But Donald Trump is not like intellectual. So why would I give you an intellectual characterization of someone who's not an intellectual? That doesn't make sense.
understand the office of the presidency. He doesn't know what it means to govern as a president, and he looks
Yeah,
for
he
easy
could win
wins.
it twice, and Biden couldn't.
Winning, well, 3 times according to him, right?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, well, okay. So he's also been impeached twice too. So just saying, you know. So you have a
Sure.
guy who doesn't understand what he's doing in office. He looks for easy wins when he can find them. He feels like he came high and mighty off the Maduro abduction or whatever, and then he looks
You
to
did a
Iran,
great job with
and
that.
Netanyahu comes by.
Are you mad?
Netanyahu comes
Are
by.
you pro Maduro?
Netanyahu comes by.
Are you pro Maduro?
I'm anti-abducting world leaders. I
You're
think we should do that.
anti-abducting a war criminal that kills and starves his people.
It's not the job of the United States to be. If he was so fucking bad, why didn't Donald Trump get a UN resolution to do it?
That's funny. The UN has no teeth.
The UN had
has
no
teeth. The UN
problem
is literally a waste
co-signing
of
missions
money.
to Kosovo or letting us bomb the fucking Serbs or letting us go to fucking Libya. What do you mean?
My God, the UN has.
We
no
triggered
teeth.
Article 5 for Iraq and Afghanistan, didn't we?
Sure.
Oh, so everybody can get a deal except for Trump.
All right, I'm gonna end it there. Shout out Destiny for destroying this guy. This was pathetic for sure. Okay. All right. What else do we want to check out? Do I want to look at this fucking speech? We're pushing through. We're behind on content. We'll go. Let's do it.
Good evening. Before we begin, I'm proud to report.
I'm gonna fucking. All right, let's do it. Thumbnail. Okay, I'm late to the party, but we are reacting to Donald Trump's speech. I heard some insane things are said in this speech, so let's lock in.
That our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before. We are doing great. Less than 2 years ago, we inherited an economic and social disaster after the worst inflation in 48 years, the wide open borders with millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, including criminals.
Should I low key? I'm like, I could play a drinking game where every time Donald Trump just makes shit up, I'd take a shot, but I would be drunk as fuck if I did that. I'd honestly not survive. I would black out. So that was a lie. Obviously, the millions and millions of immigrants was always bullshit. After this, we're gonna read a fact-checking article.
All types and 11,888 murders, many of whom killed more than one person. We had transgender for everybody, men and women sports, crime ravaging our cities, and the whole world was laughing at us as a nation, but not anymore. 2 years ago, our country was dead.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. Transfer everybody bullshit. The Ravager City crime was already going down before all of this bullshit with Trump, and we have the lowest favorability and lowest polling internationally we've ever had. Countries and people internationally are now becoming more favorable to China compared to America. I think I even have an on-hand source to prove this claim. Hold on, let me grab it real quick. Here it is. China and Xi are seen more favorable than the U.S. and Trump in many new survey says. The world has largely viewed the U.S. more favorably than China for years, but those opinions have flipped in Beijing's favor this year. According to a new poll by the Pew Research Center, a remarkably shift driven in part by tensions between the Trump administration and U.S. allies. More people have favorable views of China than the U.S. in 25 out of 36 countries and territories that were surveyed, including Canada and Mexico. So, who's laughing at us? I don't know.
Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world. America is respected like we have never been respected before. We have more money being invested in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. More Americans are working today than ever before.
That's just a lie. He just lied about it. We have the unemployment rate is more than the Biden administration. Another just lie. She's just fucking lying without it. Bro, I can't pause like every time he lies. This entire video is going to be him lying.
This week it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful.
You cause inflation to go up. It's going down from you causing it go up. I think it's slightly more inflation than even the Biden administration recovering from COVID.
Bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars, like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, along with the interest deduction on a loan used to purchase a car, but only if that car is made in America, and a 100% expensing for our job-creating businesses. Our stock markets are at their highest point in many years, but
that's a lie.
We can actually say of all time, and your 401ks, pensions, and retirement accounts are setting records every single day, the highest in history.
That's a
For
lie.
years, we paid the highest price for prescription drugs anywhere in the world. Now we pay the lowest price under my most favored nations policy, because I was able to get the rest of the world and the pharmaceutical companies to act responsibly.
I'm unsure if that is a lie. I know for a fact that some certain drugs he was able to do something about the price, but I don't know about prescription drugs in general. I don't know about the popular ones. I'm unsure about that one.
Drug prices are coming down by 70, 80, and 90%. TrumpRx.gov. This will ultimately reduce the cost of healthcare. You have to go to TrumpRx.gov and take advantage of it.
Advertising his own fucking website. They need to take everything named after Trump down when Democrats take over. I know for a fact the Trump RX only has certain drugs, not like the main ones. The main ones that people usually use, those are not on the site from my understanding.
But the cost of healthcare is coming way down because of what we've done with prescription drugs.
That's a lie. Cost of healthcare has gone up because of you getting rid of the ACA tax credit subsidies.
And with Trump accounts, every child in America now has access to a tax-free investment account to save for their future. Billions and billions of dollars are being invested, put in by companies and
I think the Trump tax thing, which is honestly, I don't hate it, but I think that only lasts for like a couple of years. Basically, when Trump leaves office, those accounts are going to be gone, from my understanding.
Individuals to take care of our children so that at age 18, they will have potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account, and they'll get off to a great start in life. So for that, go to trumpaccounts.gov and sign up your child or any child who'd like to sign up. Our previously wide open borders have been transformed into the most secure borders in the history of our country, with zero illegal aliens being admitted.
Yeah, so Trump accounts are custodial style traditional IRAs established for children born between 2025 and 2028. So this is only available while he's president. That's hilarious. Growth period, for example, child, and it could be there for till they're 18. I mean, I don't hate the idea. I'm just saying that this is not to help kids. It's for him to attach his legacy to something that helps kids. So they obviously are attached to the Trump name. Everything he does is a marketing ploy for the Trump name. That's it.
Admitted to the United States in the past 14 months. That is zero. Nobody thought it was possible. We had the worst border in the history of our country, and now we have the best. Crime is plummeting nationwide with the murder rate at its lowest level since 1900, or more than 125 years ago. We're making a record investment in our armed forces, and we have the strongest and most powerful military by far anywhere in the world. I built it during my first term, and unfortunately, we're forced to use it now.
I'm pretty sure the murder rate was already declining, so it was already at a low rate. I don't think he's done anything to fix that. The military investment, I think that's one thing you can say for certain he's done, because he's been giving so much fucking money to the military. So that's one.
We won in Venezuela, which is now working with us to produce millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly. America is back and doing really well, but we still have a major challenge that must be urgently addressed, because no country can be great without fair and honest elections. You have to trust your country, because if there can be no trust, there can be no greatness. And that's very simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure. One where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible.
Unfortunately, this man fired the agency that is designed to ensure that the machines for elections are secure. He fired those people. And this man also fired and defunded the organizations to ensure that international interference against elections is minimized. He fired that agency as well. And then he got his own like private fucking Gestapo unit to just take voter roll data whenever he pleases without permission from the state, which is not allowed. So election security, election integrity, that shit's out the window. That's not what they want. And they do factually are trying to push out means to make voting harder, make it more difficult. They want to disenfranchise voters. That's the only goal.
The system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard. Tonight, I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes like levels never thought possible to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now. The documents we will release starting tonight have been gathered by the White House Government Transparency Task Force, a great group of people, along with the staff of the President's Intelligence Advisory Board, supported by our top intelligence agency chiefs, who have all personally reviewed the findings we are presenting this evening and fully confirmed their authenticity. You can see these documents for yourself at whitehouse.gov. That's whitehouse.gov. Go check it out.
Go check it out. And then I have something for you right now. This is what came to my knowledge recently. Look at this.
Investigate elections just admitted on camera after his speech tonight that there's no evidence the 2020 election was unfair, and then he got rushed away from journalists by Trump's team. Just take a look.
Did you acknowledge that there were no votes changed in 2020?
All I can acknowledge is what the intelligence shows, right? I only know the intelligence committee has zero evidence that someone has flipped that a foreign power flipped a vote in 2020, 22, or 24.
And you have.
Did you hear that? This guy, a Trump official, looked at all the documents that Donald Trump is telling you about right now. There's no evidence. That's what he said.
No, you're able to.
We're now through all the documents.
You're able to acknowledge that Venezuela has not tampered with voting machines in the United States.
No, the intelligence is very clear. They did it on their own machines. Why is it important that they did it on their machines? Their machine protocols are the same as America. Why? Because for a long time they did exactly.
Until the 2020 election.
And then Trump's people took him away. So no evidence. Venezuela did it to their own elections. There's no evidence that this happened to American election. So anytime Donald Trump tries to say this shit, I'm going to replay the video so we all can refresh our mind on what is actually happening in real time. Lies, propaganda, misinformation to cultify and galvanize a cultish base that is willing to overthrow the government because he's an evil piece of garbage, piece of shit. Hopefully we all understand that. Let's continue.
Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare. The intelligence even shows that China has signed a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project. Compounding the travesty, the second set of documents we are releasing reveals that members of the deep state, very, very famous group of people.
Very, very famous group of people that he's associated with because he has billionaires that actively talk to him individually behind closed doors, but whatever. Anyhow, here's another interesting source. Shout out PolitiFact, of course. So this is from PolitiFact. If you guys don't believe me, PolitiFact Daily, and this is where I get a lot of my information. And you can email me, thetrendgoldenfaith@gmail.com, if you want to talk about the podcast. Come on the podcast. All right, so this is what they have to say. Let me maximize this. China obtained voter registration records that doesn't prove interference. Trump stated in his speech by describing a nefarious Chinese heist of U.S. voter records. China carried out what he believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files, he said. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, and political party preferences of voters, which Trump called an unprecedented election security nightmare. It wasn't too difficult. Documents posted on a new White House website show. A document labeled Sensitive Government Agency said the voter registration information from 2013 to 2021 is publicly available for download from the commercial websites, and it appeared China downloaded it in 2022. The document said, in theory, the data could be leveraged to carry out election influence operations. Election data experts said that obtaining such data is common. Just because they have voter registration data does not mean that state or local voter registration databases or infrastructure have been breached, said Ryan Macias, an election security and tech expert who held federal government roles in the past under both Trump administrations as well as under Obama and Biden. This data is information that can be legally purchased by certain members of the public. So China having information that was publicly available, does that mean voter fraud? Fuck no, it doesn't. So, of course, he's going to fearmonger because they have no evidence of voter fraud. And this is just another example of it. So if anybody goes up to you and say, hey, did you hear about China? Goes like, yeah, they got information that was publicly available, but there's no evidence of voter fraud. This is pretty common. That's all you got to say. And these dumbasses will try to wiggle their way. It's like, well, what are they going to do with this information? Isn't this the same arguments you guys had about TikTok information, TikTok data? Isn't that why you wanted to get rid of TikTok? But what happened? Donald Trump convinced them to keep TikTok. Funny how that works. Funny how that works, right? TikTok was this existential threat, and then we kept it because Donald Trump wanted to keep it for his media campaign. So, cry me a fucking river. How about that? All right, let's continue. Let's talk about the deep state.
Many cases, in our intelligence agency work to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up from both the president and the American people like nobody thought was possible. U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020 when they discovered that tens of millions of voter data, think of that, tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states have been bought, stolen.
It's been bought and stolen. How does that work? How has it been bought and then stolen? That doesn't make fucking sense. He didn't mean to say bought, but he did. And also, if we're talking about voter roll data that's been given away, Donald Trump and the MAGA administration, Doge, was giving out voter roll data to private political organizations that were not affiliated with the government. So we're talking about stolen data. Doge was already giving out stolen voter roll data to random people that were not a part of the American government. Yeah, that's objectively true. You can look it up. This is not, I'm not lying like Trump. I don't make shit up like Trump. I don't accidentally say the wrong thing, bought and stolen. That doesn't make fucking sense. But what was stolen was your information given to people from MAGA. That's what was stolen.
Stolen or hacked by China. Yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information secret and hidden. They did not disclose to me as president or to anyone else, and to the best of our knowledge, they did not inform Congress. In fact, all they kept saying is, this is the most secure election in the history of our country. A standard, very pat line that was divvied out to say. The cover-up of this colossal security breach is even more disturbing in light of the additional information showing that China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job. And they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by the CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the president of the United States of America. The Chinese government sought to identify U.S. journalists who had reported negatively on the U.S. president and pay them large sums of money to write more negative articles about him, as many as they could, and they didn't care what they said. The Chinese government wanted U.S. president to lose the next election, and the reason they wanted me to lose is...
All right, so more fact-checking information. First, in regards to what he said about the deep state. So Trump said deep state hid findings, but Trump's administration released conclusions. So Trump said some of the released documents revealed that members of the deep state worked to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling, covering it up for Trump and the American people. This is misleading. The intelligence community provided Trump a classified report on Jan 7th, 2021 about foreign interference. And 2 months later, under Biden, the National Intelligence Council issued the declassified version. That report said China considered but did not deploy influence efforts intended to change the outcome of the election. The experts stated they had high confidence in their conclusion. High confidence that they considered but did not deploy operations. The report included a minority view from the National Intelligence Officer for Cyber, who concluded that China tried to undermine Trump's re-election primarily through social media and official public statements. The official wrote that some efforts were intended to at least indirectly influence candidates, political processes, and voter preferences. However, the minority report said there was no information suggesting China tried to interfere with the election process. No information. John Ratcliffe, then the director of national intelligence and now the CIA director, sided with the report's minority view. The documents the White House released July 16th showed some dissension within the Trump administration in 2020 about China, but that was reflected in the 2020 report. The intelligence community does not routinely publish all records because they include sensitive information, including about sources or issues that could be used in a related investigation. So again, no evidence that China did anything regarding the election, completely misleading. And we already knew that countries like China, Iran, Russia were very much in part of like spreading certain things on social media against both parties. Speaking of whether or not China wanted Trump to lose, here's another piece of information about China wanting Trump to lose. So Trump said the Chinese government warned him or wanted him to lose the next election because of his plans to enact tariffs and invest the U.S. military. A CIA note, which the White House released with Trump's speech, said that in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. China was working to influence the result of the 2018-2020 elections, the CIA note said. China analyzed 2016 results in states that could be hurt by tariffs and hoped to induce representatives from those sectors to lobby Trump. The country also invited former U.S. government officials and academics to paid speaking engagements in China. A National Intelligence Council assessment in August 2020 also said that China preferred that Trump lose. It said that China might attempt to more directly thwart the president's re-elections, including by leaking information or through online influence network. However, the 2021 report said that China did not view Trump or Biden winning as advantageous enough to risk getting caught meddling. Beijing believed there was bipartisan consensus against China in the United States and saw challenges whether Trump or Biden won, the report said. So ultimately, they had concerns about Trump because of tariffs, of course, as like one of the primary things. And there are different rumblings with like unofficial documentation in terms of the dissatisfaction regarding Trump. And again, we know efforts of all the countries trying to interfere with the elections in some way, Russia, China, Iran, in terms of saying random shit on social media. We see bots all the fucking time on social media. So some of them could be China. But the report that, again, Trump is referencing said there was no reason why they would get involved. Trump and Biden were not favorable to China, as we know. And ultimately, it wasn't worth the risk. So no evidence to any of the claims that Trump has been making about a deep state or China doing any actionable action to interfere with the election. But again, the MAGA administration is reaching as much as possible to prove something that is not true because they can't admit that they just lost the election.
Is because they knew I was wise to them, charged them billions and billions of dollars worth of tariffs, and built the strongest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world. These are exact quotes from the CIA reporting. The name of the person doing the quote is now under review, but it gets even worse. Raw intelligence obtained by the FBI in 2020, yet buried by rogue bureaucrats, stated that China's activities even included an attempt to manufacture illegal ballots for Joe Biden. Documents show that during this period, dozens of significant CIA and NSA reports about China's election targeting were kept out of the presidential briefing. These were briefings I would get almost every day. Everything was kept out that was of importance. One email among intelligence analysts admitted that they had, quote, deliberately massaged the presidential daily briefing to withhold information regarding Chinese activities related to the election. Another official inside the FBI wrote that she was running, quote, a shadow government, unquote, to keep intelligence about China's election meddling from becoming known and to keep it away from the honorable press. Other officials who witnessed such efforts perceived the motivations to be blatantly political. Recently, we found significant numbers of burn bags in formation, and this is a group of bags that were used to destroy information given by President Barack Hussein Obama to be burned. It was supposed to be burned. These bags were supposed to be at a different level by different people, incinerated and checked, but it never happened. Maybe we got lucky. We believe this was not done on purpose, but rather through gross incompetence of the people that was supposed to burn the bags. But the findings are stunning. Today, I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series.
Let me just remind you real quick.
Was in fact the results as we, the American public.
I'm still researching, so let me. This is the first
But
one.
there's no intelligence.
Not yet.
There's no intelligence that the election. It would have said that Donald Trump was
The president said that tonight.
And would you look at that? They all rushed him away as soon as the truth slipped out. He admitted 3 things in that video: that no votes were changed in 2020, no machines have been tampered with, and they have no intelligence right now to suggest that the 2020 election was unfair. Hey, MAGA, that's Donald Trump's own guy saying that. Now, he's probably going to get fired tomorrow for saying it, but nonetheless, John Solomon, this man right here, said it on camera. You have to see this. The guy that Trump hired to investigate elections just admitted on camera after his speech tonight that there's no evidence the 2020 election was unfair, and then he got rushed away from journalists by Trump's team. Just take a look.
Did you acknowledge that there were no votes changed in 2020?
All I can acknowledge is what the intelligence shows, right? I only know the intelligence community has zero evidence that someone has flipped, that a foreign power flipped a vote in 2020, 22, or 24.
And you have you're able to.
We're not through all the documents.
You're able to acknowledge that Venezuela has not tampered with voting machines in the United States.
No, the intelligence is very clear. They did it on their own machines. Why is it important that they did it on their machines?
So, you know,
Series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that our government has long known these machines are extremely exposed to attack. As one assessment states, we judge that the United States adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. That's unquote. But that's some statement, isn't it? Made by supposedly great patriots of our country. The document goes on to further state that, quote, we assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and other official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use this access to these systems to disrupt election processes within the United States of America. Tonight, we're releasing all of those findings, and spanning from January 2020 to June 2026. This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy. Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today, we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020. And that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected even with an audit, no matter how deep they went. This intelligence underscores why we must take urgent action to ensure that our own system can never, ever be hacked or compromised like it was in the past. The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned. They couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes. Finally, to reveal just how vulnerable our elections continue to be, we are releasing the results of a stunning investigation by the Department of Homeland Security. According to the
I like Donald Trump because he could twerk is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Shut up, piggy, Trump communist, Epstein now. Yeah, Trump, honestly, he has very communist tendencies. I'll be honest.
Voter rolls and public records. They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it. It is not defensible. Hundreds of millions of U.S. voter files are in the hands of foreign governments. Our machines and ballot counting systems are exposed to hacking and manipulation and corruption. China and other countries have been trying to meddle in our elections. Evidence of fraud has been buried. Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls. And yet
it's just making shit up. All of this is lies. It's just, is it worth my time fact checking everything he says? Keep in mind that Republicans had a bipartisan system called ERIC, where they would cross-reference voter roll data, and Republicans left because the ERIC system, the ERIC agency, which was bipartisan, was telling people to register to vote because people weren't registered. This is the same party that is complaining about voter roll data, that is stealing voter roll data, taking voter roll data without information and giving out voter roll data. Just remember that. Just remember that.
we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail.
Just fucking all, oh my God, lies, misinformation, disgusting.
As one example of the insanity, California's recent election for mayor of LA and governor was held on June 2nd, a long time ago, but it was just completed a few days ago on July 10th. Think of that, much more than 1 month. Took a month to count the votes. I wonder what they were doing. This is worse than any third world country. There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC fake news have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections. Fraud like this should mean a revocation of their licenses. They use our public multi-billion-dollar in value airways for absolutely no money. They pay nothing. All we want is honesty in our elections and honesty in reporting. They pay nothing for multi-billion-dollar assets. Great damage has been done to our country. Our elections were left vulnerable to being rigged and stolen, and the trust of the American people was lost. This cannot be allowed to continue. Every American, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, or otherwise, should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, really, we should be together, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, everybody, and it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide.
Right. Remember when he did this?
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have. I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break. There's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
You do it to uncover fraud. You could say for transparency and to uncover fraud, possible fraud. So who's going to stop you for that? It's like
a federal judge, possibly.
I just want to find.
This man is trying to tell you, oh, this is not a partisan issue. We all want fair elections. Except me. I want to find votes. Just say whatever. Just give me the votes. Oh my gosh. People, MAGA, wake the fuck up, please. Like, come on. What does this guy have to do for people on the right to recognize how evil this guy is? He's evil.
This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided. In light of the brand new and irrefutable information I have revealed tonight, my administration is in the process of notifying the states whose election data was compromised by the People's Republic of China and many others. We will be working closely to mitigate any harm, and we're taking swift action to ensure that sensitive voter data is better protected so we can never be bought, we can never be hacked, and we can never watch a stolen election again. Tomorrow, the Secretary of Homeland Security will hold a briefing to outline his department's recent work confirming cyber vulnerabilities in our electronic voting systems. They are bad. We're in the process of informing governors, senators, and members of Congress of potential issues in their states. If you look at voting today, it's in such bad shape in so many states, and we are committing to fix it. And we're also committing to be working with those states and local jurisdictions to help them fix and patch known technical vulnerabilities before the midterm elections. We have very important elections coming up. We want those elections to be honest. I've also ordered DHS to notify every state of non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately. But most importantly, addressing this crisis of election security demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act. How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad.
You don't want to do it because the Save America Act is not about voting with voter ID, which majority of people would be fine with voter ID. There's multiple states that have voter ID when you vote. A national voter ID, everybody would be the game. The Save America Act is there to prove citizenship, which is a level of documentation that will disenfranchise a lot of voters who do not have that documentation, which has already been tested multiple times in different Republican areas where hundreds of thousands of people were not able to vote. This is an attempt to chill voting participation, to ensure less and less people vote. And honestly, this is not going to only affect Democrats. It's going to affect a lot of rural area Republicans. But the less amount of people, the less people participating, the better for MAGA, because they're incompetent sheep who suck at their job.
Bad. And your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way. This landmark bill requires that all voters must show photo voter ID. How simple is that? Could I have your photo, please?
Good lie, though.
ID. All voters must provide proof of citizenship. Are you a citizen of our country, please? And hopefully there will be no corrupt mail-in ballots, which if you watched California and so many other places.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of mail-in ballots. Whatever it takes to chill voting participation.
Mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt. So you would have no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel if you're going away on business or vacation. These reforms are urgently needed to stop the vulnerabilities that I've mentioned. To all Americans, I ask you to pick up your phone tomorrow, call your representatives in the House and Senate, and demand that they pass the Save America Act without delay. Together, we will restore faith and confidence in our country, and we will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Thank you. God bless you.
Go fuck yourself. And I'm gonna listen to this again, by the way.
You acknowledge that there were no votes changed in 2020.
All I can acknowledge is what the intelligence shows, right? I only know the intelligence community has zero evidence that someone has flipped, that a foreign power flipped a vote in 2020, 22, or 24.
And you have you're able to
We're now through all the documents.
You're able to acknowledge that Venezuela has not tampered with voting machines in the United States.
No, the intelligence is very clear. They did it on their own machines. Why is it important that they did it on their machines? Their machine protocols are the same as America. Why? Because for a long time they did exactly.
And so the 2020 election was in fact the results as we the American public.
I'm still researching, so let me. This is the first.
But there's no intelligence.
No evidence, man. No evidence. All right. One more video, and then we got all our content of the week that I missed. The Senate Democrat Maine election. Do I want to watch this? Honestly, no. I'm tired. It's already late. All right. That's all I got. Appreciate everybody who watched the stream. Y'all have a good one. Take care. Peace.